So I've been scrolling online and there's a bunch of hype around agentic coding, and I don't really see many people using Claude Code or Cursor to build out full-scale applications to even demo the power of using Claude Code and agentic coding. So this is what I'm going to be doing in this video. We're going to be building out a full stack application that allows people to upload videos. You can go and you can comment on videos, like videos. It's basically like a really dumbed down version of YouTube. And I'm going to walk you through how I use Claude Code to build all this out. First, let me demo out the application. We have authentication set up. So for a name, I'll just say web dev Cody, and I'll say what is up at example.com. And we'll just go ahead and sign in with a new account. All right, so now that I'm logged in, I can click up here. And the first thing we should probably do is modify our profile. And then on the profile, we'll see our images that we've uploaded or any comments that we've left. But we want to edit our profile picture. Go to my desktop and pick a image that I have, and then you can also change your display name, biography. I like to make web dev tutorials online. You can also tag your account, so I'll say web development, and then I'm going to add that one, and also say like React, maybe tan stack start, and then I'll save those changes. And now people can actually search the system for people who make content around this. Now, I do want to point out that the image was uploaded to Cloudinary, but now we can see our biography down here. We can see some tags. Now let's move on to the next really cool feature, which is uploading videos. So the whole application is centered around videos. I'm going to say a video about tan stack start. I can give a little description about the video. I teach about routes and guards. How about that? Now we can actually select a video from my computer. I'm going to go to my videos here. I'm going to click on this one. And we have a nice progress bar that's going to show up, which right now this is uploading with a progress indicator to Cloudinary, which is the sponsor of this video. Cloudinary is a really great service where you can store all your videos, your images, and your assets. And it has great images for auto cropping images and doing AI over images. And for videos as well, you can do like previews of your videos. They automatically generate your transcripts. They have chapters built in. So a ton of features and functionality built into everything related to images and videos, which is why we're using it in this video platform. So at this point, the video is done uploading, and we can just go ahead and upload the video, and that'll take us to the video player page. Let's just go ahead and click play. This is the Cloudinary video player, which you'll see it has a bunch of baked-in functionality in it already. Like we have chapters that are automatically added after we uploaded the video. Okay, so this chapter is code overview. We got enhancing notifications. Go over here using 11 Labs. And you can also quickly switch the chapters by going over here. I didn't write any of this code. This is all handled by Cloudinary automatically, which is awesome. Another feature built into Cloudinary is the ability to show the transcripts. So these transcripts are automatically generated with timestamps of every word, which you can use in your application to build out some rich functionality for transcripts. Or if you want someone to be able to copy these or ask AI questions over them, you can also do that. It's really good to have video transcripts for a video player like this. Now, scrolling down a little bit, we are tracking the number of views on the video. We can like videos. We can edit it if you are the admin of this video or the owner of this video. You can also leave comments. So I loved making this video, which uses Cloudinary, and I'll go ahead and post my comment there. You can see it show down over here. You can like comments. I can go ahead and delete the comment if you want to with a nice dialogue here. We can edit this and add tags. So like you'll see when I add tags, some related videos will pop up over here. So let's edit this. I'm going to go and say like React, maybe JavaScript. Do I have like TypeScript or something? Let's just save this. And after adding those tags, you'll see that we have all of the related videos. I don't have too many videos uploaded right now, but these are also tagged with one of those similar tags. I can click on them to navigate over to them, and then I can start playing through them. Okay, leave another comment. I can like this person's. Now I can also go and view other people's profiles. So I can click on Bob, and we can view their profile and see all the videos that they've uploaded and any comments they've left on various people's videos. I can subscribe to Bob, and then I can click on the subscriptions tag at the top. And then for all my subscriptions, I can see all the videos that people have posted chronologically. I can see all the comments that my subscriptions are. So the people I subscribe to, what have they been commenting on? I can go and like watch the videos that they've been kind of commenting on, right? And then also I can see a list of all the people I'm subscribed to. So again, here's Bob. I can go to his profile. Now also we have a creators discovery page where I can go and view all the other creators who are on the platform. I can filter based on various tags. So for example, if I want web development creators, boom, I can click on him. I can search by name. So typing Cody will actually search and give me that back. We got the ability to sort by name and by video. And then also we can browse all the videos in the system as well. It's a very similar page. We can search by tags, by title. We can sort by newest, oldest, most views, least views, stuff like that. Go ahead and clear out those tags. And then also we have notifications. So like if someone were to send you a message, let me log back out. as somebody else. Let me sign in as webdevcody at example.com. Let me go comment on this TanStack start. What is up? Okay, let me log in as the other person. And now we see a notification up here, which I can click, and then I can manage all the comments that people have left on my channel. I can go ahead and mark them as read, and I can go and view the video that people have been commenting on and go down to the bottom and actually like reply to them. And now that notification goes away and it's in the red column now. If I wanted to see all my unread notifications, here we go. And then finally, we have the ability to hover over a video and get a preview GIF. Notice how this is actually playing a GIF of me talking. This one as well, which again is another really cool feature built into Cloudinary. So if you guys want to stick around and see how I built this, again, we are going to be diving heavy into agentic coding by mainly using Claude Code to implement most of these features. I am also using Cursor. So a lot of this is going to be prompting, and I'm going to be showing you my techniques of how I can build stuff out pretty quick, how to use MCP servers like Context 7 to get the most latest up-to-date information. For example, Cloudinary has MCP servers that you can use to, from your agents, upload videos, download videos, but also you can get the latest up-to-date documentations from Cloudinary using Context 7, which helps me build out this application much faster than me having to go and read the docs and understand it all myself. So if you are someone who's been interested in learning more about agentic coding and Claude Code and Cursor and how productive it can make you as a developer, be sure to check around. All of this code will be available on the repo. TechTube, I will put the link in the description below for TechTube, and you can kind of see all the stuff that we've been adding in. And again, here is the stack we're going to be using. TanStack start, we're going to be using TypeScript, PostgreSQL for the database, Drizzle ORM for the queries, Better Auth for authentication, Tailwind for styling, ShadCN for the components, and then of course Cloudinary for the videos and the images that this application will be uploading. So I hope you guys enjoy watching this video. Let's just go ahead and jump into it, and I'll show you my strategies, or some of my strategies, for doing agentic coding. Now, when it comes to agentic coding, I highly recommend starting with a starter kit that has a decent architecture and some features already created in it, because I think the agents like Claude Code can traverse your code base and follow well-defined patterns that you already have. And if you try to build up a project from scratch by prompting LLMs, it doesn't give that great results. Sometimes it grabs old code. So if you want a similar starting point, go to this Git repo, which I'll put in the description, and you can go back to the very first commit to grab how it was when I started this video. Now, in terms of the starter kit, I did grab this from my Agentic Jumpstart course I'm working on. So if you want the full starter kit, go and join the waitlist there, and I'll let you know when that course is available for you guys to watch through and learn more about agentic coding and Claude Code and Cursor. But I do plan to give some overview of how agentic coding kind of works in this video. So I already kind of cloned this repo down locally, and we can see it over here. And the first thing that we need to do when we clone this is I'm going to go ahead and run an npm run db up. I'm using Docker Compose to spin up a Postgres database. And we're using Drizzle ORM for creating the migration scripts that'll create all of our tables and apply those to our Postgres database. So I'm going to say npm run db up, and that's going to run Docker Compose in daemon mode behind the scenes. So now we have a database running. The second step is take this .env sample file and copy it, and we want to make it just a .env file. This has information to tell the application how to connect to our database and also how to configure Better Auth, which is the auth library we're using in the starter kit. So go ahead and make that file, and now you can run an npm run db migrate, which will tell Drizzle to apply the migration scripts, which are in this directory, to our database. Now the third thing is I like running Drizzle Studio. So I'm going to run npm run db studio, and that's going to run Drizzle Kit, and I can open that in a tab in my browser, and now we have access to see all the tables in our database and view the records, and we can write raw SQL if we want to. We can come in here and edit values. It's very useful, and I like how it's just like built into the browser, so it's kind of like you don't have to have another tool installed. It's pretty nice. Okay, and now we should be able to run the app. So I'm going to say npm run dev, and that's going to start our TanStack start application, which we can then open up and start looking at. Okay, so here is the starting point. This is a really basic application. It has minimal functionality, but the point of this starter kit is so that we don't waste time trying to set up ShadCN, which is the component library we're using, TanStack start, which is the meta framework we're using, setting up Better Auth for the authorization and sign in. We have a nice, ready to go project that we can actually start signing in and uploading fake metadata videos to. Okay, we have a browse page, and then we have an upload page, and that's about it. Also, we have light and dark mode. So we're going to try to build upon this using agentic development. And like I said, a starter kit just makes the experience a lot more seamless. Now, I don't think making a tutorial on this stuff without talking about the tech stack would be very nice. So I'm going to give a quick overview of the tech we're using here. You can fast forward if this is stuff you already know. But the first thing I want to talk about is TanStack Start. This is a meta framework that basically wraps React, and I've been using it on a lot of side projects. I like it a lot, and I switched over from Next.js to use this. And it has nice integrations already with a lot of the TanStack stuff. For example, like you might have used TanStack Query already, which is like one of the most popular query type of libraries that people use in React applications. And TanStack Start is kind of built around, TanStack Query and TanStack Router, and you have all access to all these other things if you want. And the way TanStack Start kind of works is when you have it all set up, there's a routes directory, and you can define your routes by doing file-based routing. So for example, in our app, you might have seen that there is a browse page up in the top. It says browse. These URL paths will map to files. So down here, there's a file called browse. If you open it up, you can see all the content related to that route. Now, with TanStack Start, when you make a new file, it automatically is going to populate it with some route configuration. So I'm going to go ahead and just say test TSX, or at the T there. And notice that the moment I rename the file, I get this. This is the bare minimum route where you can define a route file. This is automatically set up. And then you can specify what component will be displayed when you go to that test route. So like if I go back over here and just say /test, you'll see hello test right here. Okay. So that's how you can make new routes. It's a file-based route. And then of course you can have nesting. So like if you want to have slugs or parameters in your URL, you can extract those. So here's a more complex route where we're actually grabbing that ID. Down here, we say route.useparams, and we can get that ID from the URL. And this page is used for here. When I click on this, you'll see that there's a UID up here in the URL, and we want to extract that so we can then fetch data for the video metadata on this page. It's pretty straightforward. Read through the docs. There's also a bunch of TanStack Start tutorials on my channel if you want to get like a more deep dive into how it kind of works. But the main takeaway is you have a route, and in that route, you typically want to have a loader. And the approach I do for loading data is I just say query client ensure query data, and I pass it some React query options. And what this is going to tell TanStack Start is like when this route loads, I want you to fetch this data by using a server function. And then down here, we have a use query that uses the exact same query options that we can then get the data and then just like display it. Now, the main takeaway as to why we have a loader here is because something cool in TanStack Start is when you start hovering over links, it's automatically going to fetch data related to that link. So as an example, we are on the browse page, and when I hover over this card, notice how it automatically starts fetching data related to the page that this card links to, right? So this is called prefetching, and it can make your apps load much quicker. So now if I click it, the data is already there in my UI. And so it can just show it, and it doesn't have to show spinners or loaders. And this is why you probably want to use a loader. With this type of approach, I found some good results and a nice seamless application style by using this. And then you typically have a way to show skeleton loaders using this. Now, the second thing with TanStack Start that's important to talk about is server functions. So we don't have to make REST API endpoints. We can just invoke functions directly. So if we want to get the information for a video by ID, we can just call a function called getVideoById function. And if we go look at this, this is a server function. So basically, we can define a function, we can add some validation logic to it, and then we can run some database code to get back the videos by ID and just return that. And so it kind of abstracts the way of needing to define API endpoints, and that's how we're going to be fetching and storing data into our database by using server functions. And we can start adding middleware to them, which makes them really powerful because now we can have a create video function with a authenticated middleware that requires that a user is actually logged in. Now, the way I'm structuring my code base in this project is I'm trying to separate them based on tech stack. I do think having some separations of concerns is good. I used to co-locate my files and my stuff, but now with AI, I find AI is actually better when you can give it a folder, and everything in that folder has like a very similar responsibility, right? So all my server functions are living here. All my database related things live in DB. All my data access calls, again, if I want to actually like fetch data using Drizzle from the database, we have this videos data access file. And then we have like React queries here. So we have get recent videos query. We have get popular videos queries, etc. So as of now, I'm finding some benefits of splitting stuff up by the actual like responsibility of the thing. But you might find also that co-locating this stuff in your routes could be very useful as well. Now, in terms of database, we are using Drizzle. So if you look here, we have like these functions, get video by ID. This is calling Drizzle database.select from video table where a video's ID matches the one that was passed in. That's kind of how Drizzle works. Like it lets you write SQL if you want to, and you can use that to insert data and you can use it to fetch data. In Drizzle, there is a schema file that we should probably look at. And this is where we're defining all of the Postgres tables that we're going to need to store in the user's information when they sign up. But more specifically down here, we're starting to store some like video metadata. Okay, this isn't actually like hooked into any real videos yet, but eventually we're going to upload videos to Cloudinary and have their video players preview those. So we talked about Drizzle, we talked about the architecture of this starter kit, we talked about how TANstack start kind of works. The very last thing I'll talk about, if I haven't missed anything, is this docs folder. So when it comes to agentic coding, you want to have these MD files that really define and describe how everything is set up. So I have an architecture MD file, which again talks about the separations of concerns and the layered architecture for my backend and my front end and my components. And then I have a TANstack MD file that talks about TANstack start and how server functions works and how middleware works in my code base. I also have one for forms. We're using React Hook Form. We're using Zod for validation. There's a certain way I like to display error messages. I like showing toasts. There's a certain way I like to keep the buttons always enabled because it's a better user experience. So as you're coding with Claude and these agents, typically you want to have good documentation that you can often just tag as context, and it's going to give you much more accurate outputs. If you kind of just vibe code and just ask it to do stuff, you will see the results it generates is often all over the place. Sometimes it'll pull in a random HTML form. Sometimes it'll actually just like use React's useState to keep track of form errors and whatnot. You do have to guide it. These are like guide rails that help the agent be more accurate. And with these, you have to be very careful because the agents just follow what they're given. So if for some reason your documents are out of date or they have bad examples, the code the agent generates is going to also be kind of bad. And so if you start seeing some bad code being generated, you should probably go and read through your documentation and make sure that it's up to date. And then also your Claude MD file. I do have some additional stuff in here that describes the project. But at the very bottom, I have like a remember. And whenever like you notice that the agent is doing very poorly, you come in here and you just add in another task. And you can put a little sentence and point it to some more descriptive documentation so that it can give you better results. Like if it's trying to create a form, that should be documented here. Use React Hook Form for form validation, and I point to the forms value. Okay, and I added this because I must have prompted it and it gave me some bad results. So again, you have to get into this habit of like curating the documentation, and over time you will have like a really solid set of docs, and the outputs of Claude and GPT-5 just become better and better and more accurate. All right, so I think that's an overview of the project. We got it running locally. We have it all set up. I think we can actually start adding some features. So I think the first thing we should try doing is adding the ability to upload a real video. There is an upload form here, but this doesn't have any type of file uploads or anything like that. Now, in terms of where we're going to store these files, we are going to be using Cloudinary, which has a bunch of features built in for video storage and for video playing and optimizations. So I went ahead and created a Cloudinary account. And this is the Cloudinary dashboard where you can actually get information about like what videos and assets you have set up. We're probably going to be using this video tab for the most part. But they have a media library where you can manually add in videos if you want to. So right now I just have like a bunch of set images, but we can actually start uploading videos from our React application to Cloudinary. Now, because this video is related to agentic coding, we are going to be using the Cloudinary MCP. If you know what MCP is, it's basically a smart way to have your agents like Claude Code or Cursor be able to reach into their APIs and grab data that's needed. In a sense, it's just like a set of tools your LLMs can call. Okay, so let's go through the MCP server guide, and we're going to try to set this up so we can actually use this in Cursor and Claude. So inside of installation, you can set up remote MCP servers. These are hosted on Cloudinary instead of running locally in your machine, which you can call to get information about the documentation and to get more accurate, up-to-date ways to, for example, upload videos into Cloudinary. Okay, so let's type in Claude MCP, and we can see a list of all the different things we can do. I think we just want to follow the guide over here where they tell you how to do like a transport with SSE. But we're going to grab this, and then we're going to go back and say Claude MCP add transport SSE. And I'm going to say Cloudinary Asset Management. And then we're going to go and add in the Cloudinary MCP server, which is right here. And they have 3 different MCP servers you can use. So we're going to install all 3 of them. Let's just go ahead and run this. And then you should get a message saying it was been added. And it's also going to be added to your Claude JSON file. So if you want to manually modify your Claude JSON, it's going to be here. Pretty cool. Let's go back, and we are also going to be doing this one. So we're going to go and just undo some of this. I'm going to paste in that. And I'm going to copy this. And then we're going to do the last one, which is the Cloudinary SMD remote. And then we'll add that one in too. And we should be good. So now we can actually load up Claude Code. And then I'm going to type in /MCP. And it's going to tell you that they're all disconnected and we need to log into all of them. So let's just go ahead and say enter to log in. We're going to say authenticate. And it's going to take us directly to Cloudinary where we can actually just log in with Google. Okay, and it's saying that this thing is going to request access to our data. So I'm going to go ahead and say choose a cloud for this integration. I will click on that one, I guess, and we'll say accept access. Cool. So now we should be able to go back to Claude Code, and there's 2 more we got to do. So let's do this next one. Same idea. We'll select this one. We'll accept it. All right, so now we have all of those connected. And now when we start prompting the agent, it'll know to automatically look out to Cloudinary to get assets or upload files for us. So now that we have the MCP server set up, let's just test it out. I'm going to say, please download any random image from my Cloudinary Asset Manager and put inside my public directory. Okay, and so as it's kind of going through this to-do list, you'll see it's trying to use the Cloudinary Asset Management MCP tool to list the images that I have. It's going to give me a result of 10. And then it's going to download that image and it's going to put it directly in over here. So if I click on the sample image, notice that we have a picture of someone sitting at a reclining chair. And if I actually go back to my asset manager, that happens to be the very first image here. Okay. So the MCP tools are great if you wanted to just like quickly upload an image or download an image or basically run some of the commands that you would be able to have access to inside of your asset manager. And then also there were 2 other MCP servers that we installed. That was just the asset manager, but we have an environment config remote. And we also have the SMD remote. Now to get a better understanding of what these tools do, the asset management allows you to upload and manage images, videos, and raw files with support for advanced search and filtering, easily delete or rename assets, and take advantage of folders and tags for better organization. So all this you can do from Claude Code or Cursor. Environment config, manage product environment entities, including upload presets, upload mappings, name transformations, webhook notifications, and streaming profiles. Structured metadata, define and manage structured metadata fields, values, and conditional metadata rules. So another important thing to point out is that Cloudinary documentation is inside of Context 7. So we should probably have the Context 7 MCP set up if we don't already have it. So let's go to Context 7. And I'm going to look at the MCP server over here. And I do believe they have a Claude Code set up here. All right, let's just go down here. And we are going to use the SSC transport. Let's just go ahead and click on this one as well. And then let's go back. And I'm going to get out of this real quick. And then we can go ahead and just paste in that whole URL and hopefully it'll work. Okay, it looks like it's been added. We can load up Claude Code again, type in MCP, and it looks like Context 7 is added. So again, why do we add this? Because if I want to ask a question about like, give me the latest docs for how to upload a video to Cloudinary, use Context 7, and I'll put that as a keyword, that'll actually go and look up the latest documentation from Context 7 and give us a very accurate result. So we're going to use this when we're building out our video platform site because we want to make sure that we don't have bad code injected from these agents. All right, so if we scroll up a little bit, you'll see that we have a bunch of different examples for streaming, for uploading, for using the Cloudinary SDK. We could probably also prompt it about like, hey, we're using React. Can you go ahead and give us some React examples? But I think we should be good now. Just setting up those 2 MCP servers, I think will put us in a better position to start doing agentic coding much more successfully. So let's move on to allowing this upload video form to actually submit a file to Cloudinary's file storage. More specifically, we're going to be uploading a video so that later on we can like watch it on the browse page. Now, right before we do that, I think I'm going to simplify this form and try to make it a little bit better, because right now it just doesn't look that nice. It's kind of plain. So let me show you a technique. If I go to Claude, we're going to open up that upload page, right? And we're going to drag it into our terminal. I'm going to say, this page looks a little plain. Please redesign it to make it be inside a card. And by it, I think it should be specific. Make the form be inside a card. And improve the title. Maybe add some gradients to the background. Use my existing application theme to keep it matching. Okay, let's just kick this off and see what Claude can do to this page for us. Now, while that is running to try to like improve the page, let's load up another Claude terminal. So I'm going to say Claude danger. And I'm going to switch it to plan mode, all right? What I'm going to do is I'm going to plan the next feature. Now, instead of typing the prompt, I'm actually going to use something called Super Whisper to do voice to text. Let's go ahead and kick this off, and it's going to basically listen to what I'm saying, and it's going to put it right into the text area. I think we could probably get rid of all this stuff down here. So I'm actually going to take a screenshot of that. I'm going to drop it in. And then we're going to say, please remove the video status, duration, thumbnail URL, and video URL from this form. And instead, plan for using Cloudinary. We want to be able to select the video from our computer. And the user should be able to upload that to Cloudinary. And once that's done, we can finish with the form submission and go to the individual video slug URL so that the user can now view the video that they just uploaded. Next, I need you to refactor the video slug URL, route, and display that video from Cloudinary. Use context 7 to look up the documentation for how you can do this with uploading and displaying videos using Cloudinary's video player. All right, and now we have our giant prompt. I'm going to say right here where you say use context 7, we want to change this. Use context 7, one word. And then you could go through here and kind of clean this up. I think there's a couple places where I messed up what I was saying, but I think this is good enough. Let's just go ahead and kick this off on plan mode. And we're still on Opus right now. I'm using my Opus credits. So it should spend a decent amount of time trying to make this a good, thorough plan for not only uploading the video to Cloudinary, but also displaying it with whatever Cloudinary video player they might have. And then we did use the context 7 keyword, so hopefully it should reach out to the Cloudinary documentation, and we should get the latest up-to-date ways of achieving that. Going back over here, it looks like it updated our form. Looks like this form has a little bit of an issue. I think the main issue is that we're importing an upload icon. So I'm going to rename that with an alias. And somewhere we were using upload, probably here. Oh, it looks like up here, hero section as well. This needs to be an upload icon. Is there other places that we're doing upload? Let me just make sure. All right, and here it is. So it looks a little bit better. We got a nice little card that wraps our video content. And then we have an icon, upload your video, a little description about it. And we have some interesting cards at the bottom. I'm not sure how useful this is, but maybe it's a nice little padding between this and the footer. But let's click on upload video, make sure that the validation does work. Okay, seems like it's still working. Now, I would be curious. We should probably review code and see what it changed here. So the thing I'm actually interested in looking at is what did it do for the card? And it looks like it's bringing in a card component from ShadCN, which is good. It is hard coding a bunch of styles, so I'm curious, can we like not hard code the styles, and what does the form look like without those? And I think this looks pretty nice. One thing I might change with it though, if we go to the card itself, we could say add a subtle gradient on the background when hovering. Make sure to use existing theme styles for the gradient. And I'm just going to go ahead and inline edit that. Okay, so it's a little hover effect when you hover over the card, just to kind of let the user know that like, hey, like this is what we're currently on. Now for light mode, I think the contrast could be a little bit better, but this works. This is okay. You can hover over these cards and it kind of makes it look nice. I'm going to stick to dark mode mainly for this course, so we probably won't even worry too much about light mode. Okay, so now the app is working. Let's make sure we can still like click upload, and it's still working. Let's go back to the plan. So remember we have a Claude over here, and I'll say plan, and this will be Claude of upload. And on our plan is trying to fetch from context 7 the Cloudinary docs. I'm going to say yes, I want to proceed. Okay, it's looking to check if Cloudinary is already installed. I'm guessing it's going to do an npm install on a Cloudinary library. Okay, and now we have a nice plan that we could look through and then probably apply it to have Cloudinary video player working. So it's going to try to install these two dependencies, and then it's going to create a Cloudinary config where we're going to have to add in an API key and API secret. So we'll have to go and get those. It's going to update the env example with those. That seems pretty good. Remove the following. It's going to remove all those things we talked about. Adding a file input, integrating Cloudinary upload widget for the video uploads, add upload progress indicator. Oh, that's pretty nice. I didn't think about that. I didn't prompt it for that, but that's good. Extract the video metadata, duration, and thumbnail automatically from Cloudinary response. Oh, so yeah, Cloudinary has a way to basically automatically get thumbnails from your videos, I believe. After successful upload, save video with Cloudinary public ID instead of URL. Okay. And then update the server function to accept those changes. Update the database schema to accept the thumbnail URL. Update the schema changes to accept the Cloudinary ID to store the public ID. Okay, this all seems pretty good. Removes the native HTML player, create Cloudinary utility functions. Yeah, let's just go ahead and auto accept this and see how well it does with adding this feature. And now it's going to go through all of that and try to update my app. We'll come back when this is done. We don't have to watch this go through everything. All right, so it looks like Claude Code is done trying to add in the Cloudinary image upload. Let's go back over here, and we are going to try to just enter in some information here. I'll click upload. I want to make sure that I can actually click on a video file. And when I do, actually it's saying Cloudinary not configured. So I probably forgot to add in some special keys here. Let's look through the code base and just try to figure out where that's coming from. Is Cloudinary configured? I need two things added to my environment variable. And I do believe these are like public environment variables, so I might have to actually use the Vite metadata for these approaches. So we got cloud name and upload preset. So cloud name will be Vite. Actually, I think it's called like meta, import meta. Yeah, here we go. API secret should definitely live on the back end, and upload preset. I mean, this could also live on the front end, I think. Yeah, so I'm going to actually pull out these two things, and they're going to live in a separate file just because I don't want those to potentially be exposed. So we're going to export them into a public env file like this. And then I should be able to set those in my environment variable. So we're going to go back to here. We want to make sure we have like these things set up. But luckily, Claude already updated the environment example. And we do have to prefix these with Vite, I believe. So let's go back and prefix the cloud name with Vite. And then the upload preset with Vite. I like to put the Vite things together. So Vite environment variables. And these will be like all like private server ones. I don't know why you have an example. I think I made a completely separate file. So I'm going to copy this one here. And then we're going to save this and get rid of that one. But we do want to copy and paste basically these and put it in our .env so that we can still get those over here. So let's go to Cloudinary, and we got to find some API keys. So I'm guessing if we go to settings, we should be able to access the API keys. Here we go, API keys, pretty cool. Here's your API cloud environment URL. So let's grab this whole thing. I might have to generate a new one, and I'll just call this TechTube. Okay, we got a key here. We're going to rename this to TechTube, and then we're going to copy that key. Oh, and if you look here, we have an API key here. So we can grab that. That's probably this one. We have the API secret. So let's grab that. We have the cloud name and the upload preset. At the very top, it says cloud name. So I'm going to go ahead and just copy that manually and then put it here. And then for preset, they have like an upload preset. I think if you go to upload here, you can go over here and select a preset, or you can create one. Let's just go ahead and create a preset to kind of demo that. So this would be called TechTube videos. And we will just go ahead and put this in like a video subfolder. How about that? Overwrite. Actually, I'm going to call it TechTube. This will be the folder it puts those videos. Overwrite assets with the same public ID. Okay, assert asset. This should be good. Let's just save it. And now we can grab that preset name, I believe. I might actually just put underscores here because it kind of keeps the same convention as over there. Let's do that. And then I think you put the name here. It's either the name or you put the ID, but we'll figure it out. So let's make sure this is all good. We can start using those in the public env. We're going to go back over to the config. Okay, we got the Cloudinary configs. I might actually rename this to be called env. And I'll call this env. All right. And then we'll go to Cloudinary. This one will be called env. I'm going to go ahead and just import these. Actually, no, these will be public env. All right. And then we'll just go ahead and make sure that this is public env cloud name. Same idea there. Okay, so all this code in this utils, I think is for the front end to upload videos, but we do have a backend function, which I'm guessing we'll have to go through here. And this will just be called .env. So we'll go down to the next error there, and we're just going to update that to env. Oh, I guess this is the public env too. Let's do that one. Okay. Update those. We can delete that, delete the reference. Some errors in that one. I'm not sure why I didn't import use state or use effect. Again, when you're using Claude code and agentic coding, you do have to review the code. You have to go through everything, like make sure you understand it. So maybe that's what we should do right now. We did ask it to add a decent feature. And we have a card here. We could like start adding some stuff. So if you look at the drizzle changes, it looks like we just added a video column called Cloudinary ID, which seems good. So we can add in all these things. env we just did. Public env we just did. The schema, okay, pretty simple. We got the videos back in endpoint. So we have a server function that allows us to upload the Cloudinary ID now. And the way this is working, Cloudinary name, I think this will be public env dot Cloudinary name. Same thing with this. With the cloud name. Okay, add that one in. Seems like it's pretty good. Go through here. This is just a form that basically uploads the video to Cloudinary. I think this should be fine for now. Let's just go ahead and add it. This is an ID for, I think, viewing the Cloudinary video. And you'll see it's kind of loading in the Cloudinary script here. So we can kind of just display it. And then we kind of use our video ref. I'm guessing down below there's like a reference. Yeah, here we go. So we basically make a video and then we give a ref to Cloudinary, which will initialize the player. I'm guessing this calls a function. And that's going to get back the video ID. And then I'm guessing we're doing the Cloudinary ID somewhere. Yeah, right here. It's using the Cloudinary video player, which is a custom component that this is making by just using the JavaScript stuff that Context 7 gave back to us. So I think this is all pretty good. I mean, we'll have to go and test this. And I also don't think that the public env stuff like this hasn't been used yet anywhere in the code base. I really don't think that's used yet, which is fine. Maybe we don't have to do it yet. But again, if you're doing agentic coding, review the code, make sure you understand it. I've been reading code for a long time, so I could probably review stuff a little bit faster. And I will say that sometimes I'm skimming over stuff. Like the main important things you should look at would be the server functions, because these are actually like the layer between your front end and the back end. So you want to make sure that any authentication checks are happening here. And then probably your schema. If you care about performance, you don't want to leak certain data that's getting fetched back from your database. Look at your schema. Look at what's being returned from your schema. Those are important. The React code, as long as it's like pretty self-isolated, like if it's a tan stack route, if the code's looking kind of sloppy, you can go and prompt AI to like improve it. But for the most part, like it's just doing generic like form stuff that's just copy and paste tedious work. So I'm not really too big into like reviewing that too much. All right, let's go back to our app and let's try to upload a video now. We can click it and we can browse a video on our computer. Go to movies. Do I have one that's like super short? I got one that's like 7 megabytes. Maybe we'll do that one. And it's saying upload preset not found. So I'm wondering if maybe I actually have to go here and use the preset ID. I'm actually going to grab that preset ID instead. And then we're going to go back to .env. We're going to paste that in. And I'm actually going to restart my app, because sometimes you have to restart Vite for it to like pick up those environment variable changes. Let's go and try it again. You know, a little bit of classical debugging. That's not going to go away for right now. All right, so this is failing. Upload preset must be whitelisted for unsigned uploads. I think for right now, I'm just going to make this thing unsigned. There is a signing mode. So if you look at this, select unsigned for uploading directly from the browser or embedded upload widget, and sign for media library upload. So we are uploading from the browser. So we're going to have to actually save that. And then we should be able to go back and do this. It's kind of like, you know, a pre-signed URL with S3 or R2. I think it's just allowing access for users to upload videos. And then this should get uploaded. All right, we have the video uploaded successfully. It has a duration already built into it, which is awesome. The size, the format, and the file name. Let's just go ahead and say a video of me yapping. Okay, and then we're going to just make a description. A really cool video, lorem ipsum. Go ahead and just paste that a couple times. So we have some good data to kind of play around with. And now let's click upload, and moment of truth, we get a giant error. Failed to create video, and I think this is probably because I didn't run the migration scripts. Failed query insert into. I've seen this many times before, so let's go back and we're going to just do an npm run db generate just in case. I'm guessing Claude already did that, but I am going to do a db migrate, and that should apply those changes. Let's click upload again, and now it's failing. Okay, so at this point, you have the choice of like dropping into agentic coding mode and just asking it to fix it, or if you think you can fix it faster by just looking at the code, I would recommend doing that. So if you look at it, it looks like invalid input syntax for type integer 29.2. Something, probably the duration, is being sent in as a number, but our schema expects it to be a string, I think. So let's go and check out the schema. We'll do video equals. And we have duration is a integer. And, oh, we're sending in a string, but it needs a duration. I'm guessing it's 29.2 seconds. So like we're going to have to go and figure out where to fix that. So again, let's find like the server function, which is create video function here. Let's go here, create video function, and then we're going to find duration, which is passed in from a number on the front end. So I'm curious why it's becoming a string here. Data duration, create video. You know, at this point, this might be an error that's actually faster debugged with Claude. So I'm going to go ahead and clear this. I'm going to make sure it's connected to my IDE. And then I'm going to go ahead and paste this in. I'll say, please fix. I think the duration is invalid type. Again, the more you do agentic coding, the more you start realizing, okay, this bug may eat up 5 or 10 minutes of my time. If I do it myself, prompting an agent usually on average takes about a minute, 30 seconds to 2 minutes to respond, depending on how big the bug was or how difficult it is. This is probably a super easy bug that an agent can fix. And I would recommend just trying to prompt the agent once or twice to see if it can fix it. Look at the code it changed. So it's changing my duration to a real instead of an integer. Okay, now it makes sense. I'm trying to store a float, 29.2, into an integer, and obviously that's failing. So remember the issues that you run into because they're going to show up again. The LLM likes to put the same type of issues. And so now if I get a same issue, I should hopefully know how to fix that real quick. If I look at the schema, it's bringing in a real number and it's changing the data type here. Okay. So again, I'm committing that to memory. And then I'm going to commit this. I'm going to migrate. And I don't know if I need to restart my app. I should be good. Let's just go here, do a quick little test again. Go ahead and upload this to Cloudinary. Upload video, and at least it uploaded. Now, it did fail on this page, but let's go over to Cloudinary and go to our assets. And we should have a folder called TechTube. Let's check it out. And here's our video. We actually have 2 of them. I think the first one actually was successful, but yeah, which is pretty cool. So I can actually double click on this and we can start watching it right here if we want to. You know, it gives you a summary. We get some nice metadata around with it. Like we could auto have it add tags or contextual data. You can comment on this video if you're like working with a team of other people in Cloudinary, which is nice for a larger team or organization. Some analytics on, I think, how, you know, much this video is being played. Yeah, so like this hasn't been played at all. And then derived assets. This is cool because it can actually make like snapshots of like what your video is about. And you can use that to show a picture or a thumbnail. And then when you click on the thumbnail, you can start playing the video. Now, Cloudinary also has like the ability to do video chapters and transcripts. So eventually we'll kind of use that and show it in our UI, but we want to get this working in our app. And we are getting this issue. Window Cloudinary video player is not a function. So we're going to go to wherever in the code base that might be doing that, window.cloudinary.video player. And we have this one. This is the one that's actually displaying it. And the way I knew is this route is because you can just look up here around video / the slug. So there's an issue with this page. Again, you can try to fix this yourself. Or we are doing agentic coding. So I'm going to clear out this. I'm going to say we get this error. And I'll paste this in on this ID page. I'll go ahead and just tag ID. In fact, I like just clicking and dragging the file. Please fix, use context 7 to look up the Cloudinary docs to figure this out. All right, let's just go ahead and kick that off. So the key takeaways here is the use context 7. I'm trying to look up the Cloudinary docs because I know the LLM probably wasn't trained on Cloudinary. So just off the bat, it's a bug is related to Cloudinary's API that I'm not integrating correctly with. Just ask for context 7 to get the docs for you. And then I typically start with, we have an error, paste in the error, and then paste in the file, and then tell it to fix it, right? The very last sentence should be like what you're prompting or commanding the LM to do, and the stuff before it should be your context. So it looks like it says, now I understand the issue. Let's see if this is a hallucination or if it's actually going to fix it. Looking at the documentation, I can see that the correct way to initialize Cloudinary Video Player is using the Cloudinary Video Player, but the current code is trying to access it as window Cloudinary Video Player. However, the problem is that the global Cloudinary object isn't being properly loaded before trying to access it. All right, let's refresh the page, and there you go. You got a little video. You got me over here in the work. So it works perfectly fine. I'm going to stop this because sometimes it likes to run commands and I don't want it to run a dev server again. So I'm going to stop it. It looks like it's fixed. And that's pretty awesome. Now we are getting one more issue here where I think this is a hydration issue. So I'm going to copy this one as well. And I'm going to say we are also getting this error. Go ahead and paste in this error. Fix it. Now I don't think I have to use context 7 again because it probably already grabbed the Cloudinary documentation and put it into my context window. Okay, so that's something else you can keep in mind is that once you've already added things to your context window, as long as you didn't clear this out, that stuff should still be there. And depending on the model, especially if you're using Opus, you should still have that in your window. But what I probably could have done is prompted it to use context 7 to get the TANstack start docs, because this was a TANstack start issue with the whole hydration thing. And typically that's done because like we're trying to do some type of window or document thing outside of a user effect, which will cause issues. So like, let's try it again. I'm gonna clear this and we're gonna refresh. All right, so it's failing for like a third time. Now we're actually gonna get our hands dirty and try to fix this ourselves. So if you try prompting and you keep hitting issues, you just need to go and read the docs and try to get like the latest up-to-date version of how you can do stuff. So they have examples of how to do it in React, Next.js, and HTML. I'm gonna do the simplest approach for right now. We'll come back later and maybe switch it to the React library approach. But basically you can take this iframe and we could probably just have this ID display using the iframe. So I'm going to clear out my console, and I'm going to say, using the following iframe example, refactor this page to use an iframe instead of the current approach. And I'll just go ahead and paste in that ID. Just drag this one in. It's already connected to my ID, so I probably don't even have to do that. All right, so it's going through and it's removing some of the ref stuff and all this like dynamically loading of the scripts. And instead, it's going to have a much simpler solution of just basically showing an iframe. Obviously, this probably isn't the final way that you should do this. You should probably use whatever the React approach is. But we want to move forward with this, and having the video play using their embedded iframe player is probably good enough for most scenarios. All right, going back to the app, let's just refresh it. And here we go. Let's make sure all the hydration issues are gone. So I can now click on this and we can view the video and we can start playing it. Now, one more thing I want to do is that on the browse page, the thumbnails look very, very small. And I think that's because there's probably a way in Cloudinary to specify the quality of the thumbnails. Okay, so we'll go to the video card and we might just do this the old fashioned way. So right here, here's the thumbnail URL and we have this source image. And I do believe if we were to like just log this out somewhere, we should see a full link to this and we can just kind of grab that whole thing like this. If we go to it, this is what it looks like. So it's not looking too good, but I do believe it's because the width and the height have been set to 60 and 90. So I think if we just bump this up to like 200 and 300, you'll get a higher quality image of the thumbnail. Okay, so it looks kind of like that. You can bump it up even more. We could do like, 400 and 600. And now we got an even higher quality thumbnail. So I might even do that for the thumbnails. I think I need to find in my code base where we were doing like the height of 60. Now we have to double check where was this thumbnail being stored. If we go to Drizzle, we have this thumbnail URL that's basically hard coded in here. So something is storing this inside of our database, which maybe isn't the best approach. Maybe what we should be doing is storing the URL to the actual asset so we can dynamically change this later on if we want to. So let's go to where we actually upload the video. I think we're calling like an upload function and we have a thumbnail ID somewhere, or the thumbnail URL. And it looks like when we upload the image, we get back some info about that thumbnail URL. So if we go to the Cloudinary docs, there's a thumbnail transformation that we can actually specify the width and the height of this stuff. So if we want to kind of increase the size of these when they're uploaded, we could do that. I think there's also a way to dynamically download them and like rescale them on the fly if you want to. But for right now, we will just try to do here. And we should be able to do like a width of 600, a height of 400 or something. Yeah, this looks pretty good, I guess. And now let's go and upload a new video. Just put some placeholder stuff. We're going to grab a small video that I have. And then I'll go ahead and submit this. And if I go back to browse, notice that the thumbnails are now higher quality. So on the fly, when we upload the video, the thumbnail is generated. But I do believe there's a way to have that happen on the back. And when you get the video ID, you can have it dynamically generate the thumbnail as well. There is some code cleanup I want to do here. I don't like how we're calling create upload widget twice. Can you please make a reusable function so we're not duplicating code? Okay, you do have to go through your code and make sure it's clean. The LLM will sometimes give you some bad code, right? So we have to make sure that like this thing was being called here, create upload widget, but then we're also calling it here with like different styles and stuff. So I think we should probably consolidate that into one place to make the code a little bit cleaner. So now that we have the ability to view videos, upload videos, and watch the videos, I think we could probably start adding some additional niceties around the project, such as we could do comments down here where users could leave comments on a video. We could do likes or upvotes on videos. We could probably even work on a profile page where you can go and view all the videos that you've uploaded to your account. So this is where we're going to start getting into the more powerful things with Claude Code. So I'm going to go ahead and just have like 3 Claude Code terminals open. And in this terminal, I'm going to go ahead and make this be the comments. All right, so let's just kick off this one. I'm going to go ahead and just start typing in our feature. I need you to add in the ability for a user to leave a comment on a video. When they are logged in, there should be a form using a React hook form with client-side validation with the input and a button. And when they click on submit, show some validation errors if the input is not filled in. If they type in a message, submit that and store it in the backend. You need to update the schema to have a comments table, which is related to a video, and then also add a relationship between the user and the comment. If a user were to upload the video, allow them to delete it with a confirmed dialog using shadcn. On the component card, please show the user who posted it, the time they posted it at, the profile picture, and also their comment. Don't allow comment nested threads. Just have a single thread of comments on the video when people leave comments. When building out this functionality, make sure you use any existing components that we have in the components directory. And if you need to make a reusable type of component, be sure to create it in the components directory so that other pages could potentially use it. Make sure the theming matches everywhere else on the page and that you do it for light and dark mode. All right, let's just go ahead and paste in that whole prompt. It's a pretty long prompt. Sometimes I will say think hard on those, but I think this should be pretty good. Okay, so now while that's doing that, I'm going to go to another one. And we're going to go ahead and just do the same thing. Please work on a user profile page. In the header, when a user is logged in their dropdown, add a link to their profile. On the profile page, show their avatar, their name, maybe have some bio about them, but then also have a tab section using shadcn that lists all of the videos they have uploaded, and also allow them to have a comment section, which we won't do yet, but we will do it later and implement that. Add a button if the user is viewing their own profile in the top right that allows them to edit their profile, which should take them to a separate edit profile page where they can then edit their display name, they can edit their avatar image, and they could also edit their biography. When implementing this page, make sure you use any existing components we have in the components directory or use any shadcn components that will help you build this. Also remember to use the existing theme we have in our application so that it matches all the other pages for light and dark mode. When building out the page, please split it up into smaller components and put it in a hidden -components directory co-located next to the route. Look up the TanStack docs about how to have non-routed folders if needed. Think hard when implementing this feature. All right, so we have 2 of these things running right now. I will do a third one. I'm going to say subscriptions. And we're going to make sure, now when we prompt this one, I know that this is already modifying like the video page for comments, and this one's modifying the profile page. And so if we're going to prompt this one, we want to make sure that it doesn't like have an overlap of the pages or the components that may be changed because we're going to have conflicts and it's just going to be a bad experience. So I'm going to just prompt this to only work on the schema and the backend changes related to subscriptions. Can you start updating the schema to allow a user to subscribe to other users? Also add some server functions with authentication that allows a user to add a subscription to another user or unsubscribe from another user. Don't worry about adding in any type of front-end components yet. I just want to implement the back-end functionality first. All right, so now we have 3 terminals running right now, concurrently modifying my code base. And you can kind of see it's doing a bunch of changes. And I don't think there's going to be much conflicts. Other than the schema file, they may all be changing at the same time. But eventually, these will all finish. And we can kind of start testing out this functionality. And I like naming my terminals over here with comments, profile, and subscriptions so that I know exactly like what the context window was. So we'll kind of just wait for this to finish and we'll come back and start reviewing some code and checking it out. All right, so it looks like comments finished. So we could probably go and check out the app to see if it's broken, which right now it does seem like it's broken. I've seen this issue before. So if you just go to this route, it's importing the wrong thing. So we'll go over here. This needs to be a React start. Okay. And that should fix our issue. And also it's importing DB. That is not the correct way that I named that DB directory. So we'll have to go through and kind of fix where it's messing up on some of this stuff. But it shouldn't be too hard to fix. Let's just go through here. We're going to refactor anywhere it says DB. Let's say database. So I'll just do a search for DB. All right, a couple of errors. Again, these are pretty easy to fix, especially if you have cursor. This is the flow I like to do. Ask Claude to basically do like the 80% of the functionality, come back through and fix up the other 20%. So like right now, this thing, this get session, this was supposed to probably do like an authenticated middleware. So I could do like middleware, and then we're going to go ahead and just put an empty array there. And I think we have an authenticated middleware that we can bring in, which allows us to get the context of the user. And then we should be able to get the user's user ID already. So user ID. Anytime it messes up, just load up your Claude configuration and make sure that you have information so it can do a better job. For example, at TanStack, it totally missed the middleware stuff. I don't know what happened there. And it's also, oh, it's probably because I have DB here. That's the issue. I have bad examples. Okay, so if you do have bad examples, like make sure you correct them, because that's why it just generated a bunch of bad code on me. I have the completely incorrect examples of how this stuff kind of works. So I'm going to fix this real quick. There's a couple places. We're doing it a few places here. Database, DB. Here's one. Here's one. Here's another. Okay, so again, if you're going to have documentation, you better make sure it's correct because the LLM blindly uses it. So I did a poor job at setting up this MD file, so that's my mistake. But now for future prompts, I think this thing should do a much better job. So let's kind of keep going through here, and like we're going to make sure update profile function. We should always add a validator and probably more middleware to this stuff. So let's add a validator here. We can bring in Z if we don't already have it. Just add the object for this. And then we don't want to type this stuff, so we can get rid of that. And then get rid of the session stuff. We don't care about the session stuff anymore. And we can just go ahead and do this. Okay. Same thing with this one. We have a route here for edit. And we're making sure that get user profile. Okay. Get current user. Yeah, this should be good. Let's just keep going through. We got a page title. It doesn't look like page title is actually like set to anything. Oh, I was doing the wrong thing there. Okay, so a quick little, tab complete fix. That's why I really like cursor when you're doing the agentic coding, because like you can just go through and fix stuff real quick. We're going to go through all these other things to see if they light up red. Okay, these are supposed to be icons, so it kind of messed up on that. That's fine. We can go through here. This one's trying to get the actual like session here and send it back. I think instead we could do like auth client use session, and then I think this will give us the user already. Yeah, this is probably a better approach, and then we don't need this before load at all. Okay, so this is how I like to review the code. Just go through it. There's probably a lot of changes we can kind of go through, and it's probably easier to do it with the get diff. This one's the video ID. We kind of already fixed this to be an iframe. Profile tabs. This looks, pretty straightforward. Profile header. Just a card or some card content. It looks like it's using the correct ShadCN stuff. I'm happy about that. Edit profile form. We have a form here. It's using a React hook form. It's using my cards. I think that's fine. Edit page, we have server functions, make sure that we're doing authentication checks on everything. Yep, okay. And then it's actually grabbing this. All right, the comment form, again, I'm just checking high level, like, is it using the things that I typically use in my projects? We got mutations, we got React hook form, we got client-side validation. All this stuff looks good. I don't need to go and make sure it's all perfect. For the most part, it usually works, and then you can just tweak it and fix it if it doesn't. So comment section, okay, we got some comments, that's cool. Header. Now we have a link to the profile in the header. That's exactly what we want. Video card has a space at the end, that's fine. Dialogue. We can skip that. Tabs. I think it brought in some shad scene components, so dialogue and shad. Comments. Find comments by... So this is the data access. So if you want to go through and make sure that the Postgres stuff looks like it's written properly, you can do that. I think it's fine. Subscriptions. We have some errors down here. String is not assignable to type number. Why is that? Let's just go ahead and do a count. What value is this? It's a string for some reason. So I think I want to actually... I think I could probably do like a parse int on this. Little hack there. I think we could also do like a custom SQL statement if you want to. And then you can like do a count and cast it as an integer. But I think we'll just keep it as it was. That's fine. Okay, good enough for now. Users. What is this doing? Looks like user is not maybe a type. Export type user. Let me make sure that the user is there so that it can find that. Okay, what is this complaining about? I think this is just wrong. Like, I think it just needs to be like descending, and you can put the actual like created at. Okay, there you go. Okay, schema. We have a bio on the user's profile now. I'd be careful about this. I typically would have a separate profile. So honestly, I may accept this for right now, but we'll come back and refactor this because the user has email on it. If you accidentally fetch back the full user and expose the email, that wouldn't be good, right? People can see your user's emails, which I would rather have a separate profile, which is related to the user and has a user ID, but we'll just keep going forward with this for right now. All right, let's check out comments. What is this doing? Method delete. That's not a real method, so we'll change it to post. We got authenticated for deleting. Are we making sure that we're only able to delete our own comments? Comments to delete is equal to who we're logged in as. Yeah, this looks good. We got some checks for that. Get comments by video. Create comment function. We got middleware there. Yeah, this seems okay. Subscriptions. We have the ability to subscribe to other users, and it's going to throw an error if you're already subscribed. And then down here, we have the ability to unsubscribe. We make sure that you're authenticated. Get user subscription. This all seems pretty good, like pretty straightforward. Get users, get user profile function. It returns the user profile. Get user by ID. Yeah, so this has the email in it. This is what I was kind of concerned about. I wouldn't want to expose people's emails, right? And so I would probably change this. Instead of saying user, I'm going to say profile. And then we're going to say name, bio, and image. Okay, so I think this is a safer approach. You don't want to just return the email. So definitely make sure you review your code. This is updating the user. Again, this is probably returning the email. Yep, that's not good. So we're going to go ahead and just say like name, bio, and image. I don't think there's anything else we really need here. Maybe the user ID. We could probably return that. Let's keep going. Current user, get current user. And this is making sure that it's fetching the user of who you're logged in with. Okay, so we don't care about not showing the email there because like you're already logged in. And so you're getting back information that belongs to you. So I think that one's fine. But be very careful. Like when you're trying to review AI code, it's going to throw in stuff like that where it's going to expose stuff that you should never have exposed to your front end. So do a thorough job. And then I would even ask Claude, like, hey, review all the changes and make sure that we're not leaking users' emails or users' PII. All right, this one, it went and it changed the Cloudinary name for some reason. I'm actually going to like revert that one. I don't know why it changed that. Upload. What did it do here? It did the refactoring to put them all in a shared component. All right, profile page. Looks like it's complaining about something. I had to just refactor it a little bit because I think the way I kind of did all this. Yeah, let me just refactor all these. Just tab complete everything. All right, and then we have all the database changes. So I think at this point, like we could just add everything. We may have to rerun, generate, migrate, and then npm run dev. Go back to our app. And let's check out some of the features we added. So I should be able to leave a comment. What is up? Okay. We got a toast when it's done. We have our message down here. What is up? We can delete. Pretty cool. Let me delete that comment. Second thing, we can go up here to our profile. Let's check out our profile page. We can view our videos and our comments. Comments coming soon. We got a nice little placeholder there. I can actually click into my videos and view them. I can edit the profile. So now I'm going to say, Bob, what is up? Save these changes. So we are getting like a hydration issue on the profile page. So I'm going to grab all this and we could probably just fix this real quick. So I'm going to go to the profile one and I'm going to say, fix this issue. And I want to make sure on the comments themselves, like if I click on someone's name, does it take me to them? No, it doesn't. So like change the person's name to a link so that when a user clicks on a person's profile display name, it'll take them to their profile directly. Or if they click on their avatar image as well, it'll take them to their profile. Okay, so I kicked that one off. I got the profile running and then subscriptions. I don't know if I can subscribe to other people. So I'm actually going to go and grab the ID of this one. And then I'm going to log out and sign up as somebody else. I'll just say like bobtesting@example.com. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Go to him, and I don't see a subscribe button. All right, looks like comments and profile is now done with those changes. So let's make sure. I'm going to go back to over here. If I click on Bob, it takes us to Bob's profile. I'll click on his avatar. It takes me to his profile too. I don't see a way to subscribe to people. I don't see a subscribe button anywhere. I'm not sure if I'm missing something. So we're going to go back to subscriptions. Oh, I forgot to add it in. Remember, we told it to just do the backend stuff. So now we can actually continue this prompt. Let's continue on this work. I want to add on a person's profile. If their ID is different than yours, you can then click a subscribe button. And if you're already subscribed to them, you can click an unsubscribe button. Make this call the server functions you created, and then also show a toast when you subscribe or unsubscribe to people. All right, let's just go ahead and kick that one off. Let's go back. Now, one thing we could do is like the comments. We have like this comments coming soon placeholder. We could actually probably try to like start implementing this. So let's go to the comments. I'm going to say, can you now go to the user's profile and in their comments panel, implement a feature which will fetch and show all the comments that that person has left on any video, render out the comment, and then also a link to the video that they commented on so other people can go and watch the video. Show the thumbnail of the video and the title so that we can see what video they commented on. Make sure you design this nice and well and make it very user experience friendly. Okay, so now that should hopefully go to the profile page and update this comments to show every comment that a person has left on other people's. And now that we're here, we see a subscribe button. So I should be able to subscribe to him. And if I refresh, I can unsubscribe. Okay, so that's working pretty good. Now I think for the whole subscription functionality, we could have a subscriptions up here, which would then show you videos from all the people who you subscribe to. So we could probably start working off of that. Now that you've added the subscriptions functionality, can you in the top header add a subscriptions link, which will take you to a new route called subscriptions, which you need to create. When creating this new route, please use the existing theme and functionality and components that exist in our system. On this page, you should show all the videos from the users that they subscribe to, and also show a list of all the comments that the people they subscribe to have posted. Okay, we're just going to kick that one off too. The comments is still running, so soon that'll be updating on the profile page. Is there anything else we can kind of work on while this is kind of like churning? I think the images, we need to get these working. Like right now they don't show because I guess there is no image. So let's go to profile. We're going to allow that. On the profile edit page, can you allow a user to upload an image to Cloudinary and use that image for their user image URL or whatever we're currently using to track the profile image? And then here I'm going to say use context 7 to look up Cloudinary approach for uploading images. All right, looks like comments is done now. So we're going to go back to the profile here and click on Bob. We're going to go to the comments and we can see all the comments that they've left. We can see what video they have commented on it. We can actually go back and click on it, which is pretty cool. One thing I will say is that as Claude's like modifying your code, V keeps refreshing. So it's going to be hard to test while these things are running. Sometimes you get a little sneak peek of the page, but like often you just have to like let it run because it's just going to keep crashing like this. But I think while it's running, one thing we can also kick off is the ability to like on comments. Can you please add the ability for a user to like other people's comments? Add a new table in the schema for tracking likes on comments. A user should only be able to like a comment once, and they should be able to unlike it if they were to click on the like button to disengage it. Make sure you update the comments on the user's profile page and the comments on the video page to show the counts. Be sure to write reusable code so that you don't fetch the likes of the comments all over the place. Find a way to either grab that inside of the SQL, the drizzle code, when we're fetching the comments and join them to keep the code clean. Something like that. Okay, so right now we have like a lot of code changes. We're going to have to go through all of these at some point. But I would like to at least get like some of this functionality kind of knocked out. So the subscriptions, looks like this is finishing up. It should be done soon. Okay, so now I can click on subscriptions at the top, and then I can see all the recent comments from various people I subscribe to. Looks like he left the comment on this video. And then I can also see the latest videos from the people I subscribe to. All right, the profile upload is done in Cloudinary. So let's go to our profile over here. And we can edit it. And let's see if we can upload an image. So I'm just going to go ahead and like grab my WebDev Cody. Here we go. Click save. Let's see if it actually uploads. And let's refresh. And it doesn't seem like it's showing. So we are going to try to debug this. Let's go back to Drizzle and go to users. And I want to make sure that whoever I'm logged in as has like an image added to it. There's no image there. So I might go back to profile and I'm going to say, this looks good in the UI, but when I actually save the form, I'm noticing that the image column is never updated on the user's record in the database. Okay, I'm going to kick that one off. I'll do a quick little fix there. It shouldn't be too hard. One thing I do want to do is like I want to add more gap between these buttons. Like they're so squeezed together. So I'm going to go to find the header, and I'm going to go to upload over here, and we're going to go and find, we should have like a couple of things. We could probably put some gap between this. I'm going to do gap of 6 just to space this stuff out because it's just like too crowded. Okay, maybe not a 6. I'll do a 4. And I think that should be good enough. All right, so this is the last one that's running, just the comments. And I think it's just trying to like show the likes. I think we added the like functionality. So I think this should hopefully be done soon. Let's just refresh the page. And I think we're reaching a point where we should probably review the code. There's a lot of code changes we should probably be committing. Okay, the app is totally broken right now. It's like continuously like refreshing and fetching data. So we probably will have to like figure out what's going on there. If you look at the app, it's probably just getting tons and tons of requests nonstop. But I will stop it. I see an error up there. So we should probably look at this error. Get cookie is not a function. So we got to figure out where that is being called in. You know, I think it actually might be easier to read through the code. So like the drizzle stuff, these migration scripts, I don't think we really need to review them. The app gen, we can add it for now. So comment item, let's just kind of go through here. This is showing a comment. It has a link to the actual person who posted it. We got a link to their profile, and we have a like button. Okay, so that's a new like button we asked for. Comment like button. What is this doing? It is calling a mutation to basically toggle if we like the thing or not. All right, looking pretty good. You got a heart, and if it's liked, it changes the animation. That should be okay. Header. So we're just adding a link to subscriptions. Nothing too hard to review there. Subscription button. Again, this is kind of like the toggle button. We got a subscribe and unsubscribe mutations that call our backend server functions. Very straightforward. I'm going to add those user comment item. So this is on the, probably the profile page or something. Yeah, it's in the source comments user comment. Just a card that kind of shows like what video they commented on. Nothing here. I don't think this is breaking the app, but this looks okay. User comment section. So I believe, I'm not sure what page this is actually on. It's probably on the profile. But for right now, I mean, I think this code looks okay. It's grabbing the user comments, get comments by user ID. Let's commit this. All right, comments. Now we're getting the data access. So I'd kind of slow down in the review here because this is probably more important. Find comments by video ID. It's doing some joining to see if you've liked the video or not. So it's doing a sub-select. This could probably be fixed in terms of performance. So I could say to do, look into making this more performant, if possible. Okay. Go through here and add little comments about like things that you think are going to be bad. Again, you're always checking security. Deleting a comment, that's fine. Find comments by user ID. Again, this is probably doing something that we should like check to make sure. Verify this is performant. All right, great. Comment like, delete comment like, find comment like. Nothing else stands out to me on that one. Subscriptions. Find user subscribers. Okay, this is getting all the people that you subscribe to. It is joining with the user, so make sure that we do have a select statement that is, yeah, this is the problem. Like we can't just fetch back the whole user because that's going to have the email on it. So subscriber, instead of that, we're going to say like, I'll make a to-do here. I'm actually going to make a to-do because we want to fix this. Fix the fact we are sending back the user object, which has an email. That's kind of a big issue, so we got to fix that one. This one looks pretty good. Just get some counts. Get subscribe users video. This gets the ID, name, and image from the user, so I think that's pretty good. All right, it's doing a join, user ID, image, profile. In fact, I think the to-do we added above, like we could probably just fix it real quick by saying subscribe to. I think we can just do that. I think that also will just fix it. But this would have to change a little bit. This would have to be a more explicit type there. And then the to-do. Yeah, this also needs to change, which means we have to go up here and change that. I can get rid of the to-dos though, so. Okay, let's go that. It's probably gonna break some places in the front end, so we'll have to go and fix those. But update user, pretty straightforward. Find videos by user ID. All right, we added a comment like, so we can like different comments. We have relationships set up. This is all pretty boilerplatey, nothing too important there. Comments function. This is where we should be checking security, okay? So for example, a validator, we don't have a middleware. Get comments by video ID. Find comments by video ID. Why is it passing current user? I think this is potentially joining with the whoever's logged in. So I think we could add like a middleware and say like middleware, and I'll say optional. Do we have an optional authentication? We do. Just to allow this to be optionally passed in. I think this will still work. Yeah, it'll still work. Okay, create server function. What else did we add in? So this one, again, middleware, optional. This one is authenticated. And we're going to make sure is liked, like. Okay. Another thing I'm looking for is to make sure that user IDs are not passed in the actual payload. Like, for example, get comments by user ID function. This one's fine because we're actually like fetching the comments probably for the profile to display them. So we're going to go ahead and add this one. Subscriptions. I know my head is blocking it, but I'm just clicking on files and clicking plus, so I think you guys can follow along there. This is get subscribe videos and comments, making sure you're authenticated. Yeah, this is just getting your own thing, and we're grabbing that from the context, so we should be good. Users function, this deprecated, we could just say URL. We got the image over there, looks pretty good. Subscriptions. I mean, it seems fine. ID, what is this doing? Profile tabs, nothing too crazy there. Editing your profile. This is where we allow you to upload an image, I believe. So we just need to make sure everything seems okay there. Edit profile form. We are bringing in the upload image from Cloudinary utils. All right. And then we have some state that's basically setting it. We have like a max file size. We uploaded the Cloudinary, you probably get an ID back. And then we call a mutation somewhere to store it. Okay, on form submit. This is where we send it back to our backend, I believe, upload image. No, that's Cloudinary. This is where we send it to Cloudinary. And then we call on submit, which is calling this which looks like it's passed in. So we got to figure out where that's coming from. It's called from here, and then we just update the profile with that data, which would have the image. So I think that's good. I've checked that code correctly. Let me add this. Profile header. Let's check this one out. What is this one complaining about? So we have a subscription. If we're on our own profile, we can edit it. Otherwise, we have a subscribe button. And we have the profile displayed there. It's pretty straightforward. Profiles tab. We are displaying the profile tabs. Like, that's pretty straightforward, right? And then we have the Cloudinary stuff. So this is doing the request to Cloudinary to store things into their cloud. All right, so I didn't find any like issues. Maybe I'm going to do a hard reset on the app, and maybe that'll fix. Like, the app was just like constantly crashing when we tried to load it. Okay, now it's working fine. So I don't know. Maybe we just had to like stop the app and restart it. Sometimes that's something you have to do. So who are we logged in as right now? We are logged in as testing. And if I go to my profile, what are some things that we want to check out? So we have comments here. And it looks like that actually crashed. So let's go and check out this function. Let me move this to the bottom, actually. The backend is saying failed query, select comment, blah, blah, blah. Just before I actually try to debug this, I'm going to generate the migration scripts and run them just in case I forgot, because that can cause stuff to fail when it's related to the database. So I'm going to go back and just make sure that that wasn't the issue. And we'll go to comments, and they're actually breaking. So like there's an actual legit issue with, I think, our SQL query. So to debug this, you could probably paste this whole error into your Claude code to get it to fix it. But I'm going to go ahead and just like kind of look at it real quick, because I want to see what it's trying to invoke. It's trying to invoke a get comments by user ID. So I'm going to grab this one at the very least, and we're going to find that so that we have more context when we prompt Claude or try to debug it ourselves. So this one is failing because it is passing the user ID, which we're logged in, so this should be set. And then what this is doing is verify. Oh, we have a to-do here. So that's probably the reason why I put a to-do. It's probably some sketch logic here. So I'm actually going to just go to Claude again and give it a one try on a new Claude instance. So I'll just say Claude danger. We're going to make sure the ID is connected. And then I'm going to select this whole thing. And I'm going to say, this query is giving this error. And then I'm going to paste in the error. Please fix it. Now, I would bet it's related to one of these two lines. This one looks very suspect, let's be honest. Is liked by user. It looks like it's refactoring this. So yeah, I think it's just checking if the user ID is set or not, which makes sense because this was optional. So I don't think before it was handling that optional logic. But I'd be curious if now it works. Let's go back to the app, click on comments, refresh, and it doesn't crash. So that's good, but I don't have any comments. So let's go to browse. I'm going to leave one here. I'm going to say testing, and then we're going to go back to our profile, go to comments, and then it shows up. Now, should I be able to like my own comment? Probably not, but I mean, that's how it works on YouTube, I think. Watch video will take you to the video. I can unlike this one, like all these. Go to Bob and make sure that those likes show up on his comments too. I can unlike those. Yeah, this is actually looking really good. We have to double check the image upload. That was one thing that was kind of broken, so I'm going to edit the image again. And we're going to just find this. I'll click save. Hopefully it's working now, and it shows up. Okay, now if we go back to our comments, go to a video and make sure that the profile picture shows up there. Awesome. So let's log out and go and log back in as, who was I logged in as? I think just webdevcody@gmail.com. And then we're going to enter in that. For some reason, that just like crashed. webdevcody@gmail.com. Okay, now it's working. I don't know what I did, but like, that was weird. Let's go to the profile and go to comments. Make sure it all loads for me. I can like people's comments. I can go to my subscriptions. Browse creators. Oh, that might be something cool. Browse creators. We could actually have a page to view all the creators and like what their niche is. Yeah, let's go here. And I'm going to follow Bob. Let's click Bob. I'm going to subscribe to him so I can see his stuff show up on my channel, which We don't have, but the whole reason I logged in as an other user, so I want to change my profile picture to something else. Let's just go and edit my profile, pick a picture. I'll pick that one. Looks pretty good. Now if I go back to browse, we should see those images show up. And then I can delete my own comments. Make sure this works. Boom. Yeah, there's some pretty good changes. Now I'm going to go ahead and just add in that little fix. That was the only line that was breaking the comments. Oh, they look like it already fixed it down here too. So I'm going to add this. And we did a bunch of changes. So I'm going to go ahead and just like let AI generate the comment for me. Because again, we're doing agentic coding, right? So just commit this. We'll sync it up. And hopefully by watching that, you got a good understanding of my workflow. Like literally prompting Claude code and then reviewing the code and stuff like that. Now, before we move on, I did a little bit of refactoring to move out this Cloudinary video player into a separate file. And then I also got rid of some of the loading state because I'm just using a use suspense query to like have the page wait until everything's ready and then it'll show. Now, the main reason I did this is because before we were using an iframe, but I really wanted to use the actual like Cloudinary JavaScript SDK so that we can show the chapters button and I can show maybe transcripts or something like that. So what we're going to work on right now is trying to get the chapter buttons to show up. So for right now, I'm going to skip using context 7 because I'm not getting that much good results from it. But there is a chapters over here. And what we could do is we say chapters true on the Cloudinary player like this. It'll actually show some chapters down here at the bottom. So I am going to just copy this whole hashtag. And I'm going to say, please update my, and I'll tag the upload page. And then I'm also going to tag the video player to show chapters when a user uploads a video. And then I'll paste this URL, use this URL to get info on how to do it with the JavaScript SDK I'm using. And then I'm going to say you do not need to implement any type of tracking or custom features for chapters. The Cloudinary service creates chapter, and if I look at the docs real quick, VTT files automatically when you upload with, and then like right here you can see the auto chaptering feature. So I think like I'm gonna say with auto chaptering flag set to true during upload. Honestly, I don't know if it's going to read this URL, so I'm just going to paste in some random stuff. I think we're going to say set chapters true here. Just set chapters true in the video player, and it should work, I think. Let's just kick this off and see. We may have to do this manually. The one thing that I found with agentic coding is that like when you're pulling in new stuff that your code has never seen before, that's where it starts getting tricky because often it's trying to traverse new code and new documentations that it hasn't really seen before. Again, the point of agentic coding is not to replace coding, right? It's to expedite the way you write code and make you more productive. And knowing when it performs better and when it doesn't is just one of those things you have to learn over time. And when you do it long enough, you start getting a good idea of like, okay, this task I'm about to do is probably going to fail hardcore in the agent, but I'm still going to try it in the agent 1 or 2 times because the agent can probably do it much faster than I could, even if I were to like go read the docs and then pull in the implementation and get it all going. It said it added an eager raw transformation AC auto eager async. I don't know if this is what we're supposed to be doing, but maybe. And then over here we are setting chapters to true on the video player, and we have a chapters button. Now I think the next thing we need to do is we need the ability to upload larger videos. Right now we can only upload up to like 100 megabytes, and we're using Cloudinary's built-in widget for uploading. I think we may need to switch over to do like a more like, here's a raw file upload. And they have a cool, in their documentation, they tell you how to do a chunk asset upload from the client. And they give you an example in React. So this is great. We should be able to basically copy all this code and use it as an example in Claude. Let's try this out. Given the following code example, refactor my upload form to use this direct to Cloudinary upload SDK for larger files. And let's see how far it could get with just doing this for us. I probably should have also stated you don't need to use the widget anymore, so we'll see if it gets confused and tries to keep them both. Yeah, it does look like it left the Cloudinary upload widget, so I don't know if we even need that anymore. If we don't need the Cloudinary upload widget, can you now remove it from the upload page? Well, I guess in the meantime, while this thing is still trying to cook, what we could do is I'm going to do some more changes to the app. The first thing we could do is track when people watch a video. So like, I guess when the main video page loads, we can just increment a counter for a view. Can you please increment a view count for the video when someone watches the video? And by watch, I mean when someone were to load the video page. After doing so, make sure the watch count is displayed everywhere that we have the video in like a card or something. Okay, it looks like it's finishing up the upload refactoring and removing that widget. So I think we can go back to our app and we're going to just see if we click upload, this page loads still. Okay. And we have this upload functionality. So if I just type in a title and click on this, I should be able to select my image. And now we have a progress indicator, and that's uploading, I hope, to Cloudinary right now. I'm going to just change this to like YOLO testing. Click upload, make sure it still works. Yeah, seems pretty good. Let me accept this. And then also we have a Cloudinary's chunked method, which is calling the auto upload method. And then up here we have a form. And I think what we could do here is we could probably append a auto chapters true. And I think that's what we want to do. So we're going to append auto chapters. Let's try to upload another video. I think I'm not on the Cloudinary Pro plan, so I think I have like a 100 megabyte limit. So if I can find like a shorter video maybe that I have. All right, here's a 2-minute video. I'm going to copy this and see if I can just download it real quick and see if it's under the 100 megabyte. I'll also pick like the smallest video format they have. I'll do 720. Hopefully this is pretty small. All right, I got a Python video, and I'm going to go ahead and just try to go to my downloads folder and grab that. Okay, that's uploaded. What is Python? We have this. Let's upload it and see if we'll get some auto chapters from this.
Let's talk about Python. What is it? How does it work? And how you can get started today. All of that and more in 2 minutes. Start the timer.
Oh, I called it auto chapters. It's called auto chaptering. I should probably name it properly. So let's go back and do it again. Let's go to upload. What is Python again? And then we're going to select the video here. And it is saying auto chaptering parameter is not allowed when using unsigned upload. So I'll probably have to go back to the docs for that. Unsigned upload parameters. You can define the following parameters directly in an unsigned upload request. While only certain parameters are allowed directly in unsigned requests, the permitted parameters can be included upon that. All right, we are going to have to use a signed upload though. So I think we're going to have to go back and generate a authentication signature using our private key. So let me just copy for an LLM and see if we can like get this set up better. This is unable to work because you have to use signed uploads when trying to use auto chaptering. So use the following code that I'm going to paste to sign the request and get the tokens to attach to the form data. Let me go back and copy the LLM. I'm going to commit what I have because it is kind of working, but I don't want to lose that progress. Implement signed uploads using the provided docs. All right, let's see if this is able to do it. And let's read through. So it's creating a server function to generate upload signatures, and then it's going to update the chunk uploader to use the sign uploads, and then it's going to add the API key and secret configurations, which I think we already have in our .env. So it's just a matter of like using that server function to generate some additional things we got to append here. So I would hope that after it's done, this will be modified. We'll have a server function. And what is this? This is making a can stack server function Cloudinary signature. Make sure that's doing the right method there. It's really messing up on the tan stack stuff right now. So I'm going to go ahead and just like say handler. Maybe we can fix this. Also add a validator. All right, I just went through there and just like kind of fixed some stuff that the LLM really messed up on. All right, it's bringing in .env files, so I'm not sure API key and API secret. Use signed upload if API credentials are configured, otherwise use unsigned. I am going to reprompt it right here. It should not be importing this because these are like server only. You should not be importing the following line because this is a server only environment variable. Refactor the code to just do signed uploads and don't need to do any type of Boolean logic to determine if it's signed or unsigned. All right, let's just double check that it kind of got rid of all that stuff. So supports chunked uploads. What is this doing? Use chunked uploads for files larger than 100. Okay. And then down here, change to some text. All right, what is this doing? Eventually, we should get these signature things. So like here's generating the signature. And then we get it and we append it right here onto the form data like I mentioned. And yeah, I guess it's using this.signature.cloud name now. Well, let's just test this out. I think one more thing I had to do off camera was inside of the video player, which is this one, I had to also import this chapters module. For some reason with handstack start, you can't import these at the top of your file, so I have to dynamically import them or else you get like strange hydration issues. I figure we could just go with this. This is nice because it dynamically imports only when you need the video player. But yeah, let's go back to the UI, which is here. And I'm going to say Agentic coding video. And then we're going to go ahead and just select one of those videos. Select this one. And then we should get a nice progress indicator as this is uploading. All right, looks like it's done. Now we can go ahead and click upload video. And our video will show up over here. Now the chapters do take a little bit to show up. I think like maybe after 30 seconds in Cloudinary they'll show up. If I were to refresh, eventually they'll show up at the bottom. So we'll give this some time to like finish. But if you go to the actual like Cloudinary videos folder, which is where it's actually uploading now, you will see that we'll have our video. But then directly next to it, there's a VTT file which has all of our transcripts. So if I go in and download this one, and by transcripts, I mean the chapters. So if you go and look at these, this is what the VTT file looks like. It tells you the timestamps of where these chapters start and end, and then also the title of that chapter. All right, so going back to our app, if I refresh, and as you can tell, as I hover over, we have enhanced notifications, code overview, using 11 labs, transcript path explanation, which is cool. We didn't have to do this. Cloudinary automatically used AI to traverse our video, grab the transcripts, figure out how to chunk them in the chapters, and that's automatically applied to the video player. So if you need a really robust video player, definitely go check out Cloudinary. They got some really cool stuff. Okay, so we got chapters. I think one thing that we added was the views. So every time I refresh this page, notice how the views goes up by 1. We have a good way to track how many people have watched a video. If I go back to browse, we can see the views right here. So that's also working on this page. The timestamps are a little weird. I should go ahead and just kind of like go to the video card. Video card. I'll probably just fix that. Duration, I believe it's called. Format duration. I wonder if this thing is just not add start to. I'll probably just parse int that thing, and that should probably fix it. Yep, there it goes. I think on the subscriptions page, we can maybe put the latest videos and recent comments on separate tabs. It feels kind of weird that I have to like scroll down to even view the comments. So let's try doing that. On the subscriptions page, can you use tabs and have a tab for the recent videos and a tab for the comments? And then also, let's add a brand new third tab that lists every single person on a nice card with their avatar and name of who you are subscribed to. All right, let's just kick that off. Let's say Claude, and this will be subscriptions. And then we'll probably just load up a new terminal here. Another thing that might be useful to do is browse for creators. So for example, let's say you do a lot of like security content or you do a bunch of web dev content. It would be nice to be able to add certain flags or tags or flair to your profile. And then those could be searched for on the browse, either the browse videos or maybe even the browse creators page. So let's try that. I'm going to do a browse creators page, but then also on their profile, you can actually add tags of like, what type of content do you do? Let's edit this. I'm going to say Claude creators. Can you add a new feature on the user's profile that allows them to add custom tags that they can attach to their user account? And then add a new link in the header called creators, which will go to a creators route where users can browse for creators based on certain tags that they have attached to their own profiles. All right, going back to the subscriptions, we got recent videos, we have comments, and we have subscribed users. Okay, so now I can actually go and view who I'm subscribed to. Now, I might actually change this to be a nested layout because, like, as you can tell, I'm switching the tabs. And if I click on Bob and go back in the back browser, it's no longer on that tab. And that's kind of a bad user experience. Let's go back over here and we're going to prompt that. Can you refactor this to do a layout where the tabs live in the higher layout, and then we have 3 separate routes for the recent comments, the recent videos, and the subscribers, so that if I were to navigate away from the page, I could easily click back and go back to the proper page. So hopefully you can figure out the TanStack star layout system that's going on there. The creator stuff is still kicking off, so let's make another Claude terminal. And I will just go ahead and rename this one. This can be Claude. I don't know what we're going to do with this one, though. Oh, probably the ability to like videos. That we don't have in yet. And then also this duration here on the actual video itself. We should probably fix that. Let's go to the ID of the video, find duration. Looks like we have another format duration function. So I wonder if we can actually like consolidate this. It seems like there's multiple format duration functions. Can you move it to a utilities folder and then use it on the various pages that were originally using it? Go ahead and rename this one the duration. Make another Claude terminal real quick. And this one's going to be liking comments. So liking videos, I mean. Can you add the ability for users to like and unlike videos? And make sure you display how many likes a video has inside of the video card. Okay, so subscriptions, looks like it's kind of done. Let's check out the URLs here. So if we go to subscriptions, looks like the app might be crashed or locked up. Yeah, it looks like it keeps getting reloaded because it's making a ton of changes. So I might actually just like stop this. All right, I've seen this before where the LLM can't get the nested layouts correctly, and that's typically because we have a file called subscriptions here and then a folder called subscriptions. So I'm actually going to rename this to index. Well, actually I can't. Yeah, can I move this? Okay, let's move that there. I'm going to call this index. Oh, we already have an index. Oh, okay, I think I just need to get rid of that one. Let's just get rid of it and see if it works now. Okay, subscriptions. Okay, so I got a little bit lost here. This is a Next.js convention, I believe, like the layout thing. I might actually just change this to be route. There we go. So now it's fixed. All right, so now if I click on the tabs, notice that the URL is actually updating, which is better than it was doing before. So if I click on Bob, I should be able to go to his profile and go back to here. Let's click on creators up here, and we should be able to browse based on tags. There's no tags in the system yet. And also these cards are like not the same height. So I should probably say make these cards uniform in height. Let's go here. Make the cards uniform in height on the creators page. And let's go to our profile and see if we can actually like add a tag here. So let's go edit profile. There a tag system. It was supposed to add in a tag system somewhere, but I guess, oh, it did. I saw it over on the tabs. Okay, the creators page is loading again. It looks like all these are the same height, which is good. Bob has 11 videos. Okay. Browse page is broken. Subscriptions is also broken, but I do think this is still, are these all done? That one's still generating. The liking videos is still going. And I think that's why every page that's showing videos is kind of broken right now. All right, so now we can actually see. Let's go click on a video. I'm going to like it. Can I unlike it? Do a hard refresh, make sure it seems like it's working. Yeah, looks pretty good. And then also like can that, if I go to the browse page, does it show how many likes it has? It does, but it shows them in a weird, like next to each other. Kind of weird. Let's see if this is done. Looks like it is done. I'm going to interrupt it. I'm going to say, why are there 2 hearts on the card? So let's just grab this one. Why are there 2 hearts on the video card for likes? There should only be 1. All right, going back to the profile though, because I don't think I like the tags over here. Like it's kind of strange. I would expect the tags to have lived in the edit profile. So we're going to reprompt this and move it to the edit profile. Okay, I think we're dealing with tags here. I'm going to actually call this the profile tags. And I'm going to prompt it to kind of refactor. I wasn't very specific before. Instead of having a separate tab for the tags, I need you to move all that functionality into the edit profile page. Okay, let's go back to browse. Okay, now we only have 1 heart there. It's looking pretty good. I don't think we should even show the description here. Like I think maybe just the title's enough, kind of like YouTube does it. So let's go back to the video card and let's find the description. And we're just going to go ahead and get rid of it. There we go. So another thing I'm seeing is that like if I created a video, like if I go to my profile and see my videos, I should be able to edit the title and the description and then also add tags to it. So let's go back and find an open terminal. Liking videos, we get clear. I'm going to make this video called video editing. Add the ability for a user to edit the title, the metadata, or the tags on a video. We haven't yet added the ability to put tags on videos, so please analyze how we do tags for the profile page and copy that for the videos. I want to be able to tag videos so that later people can query the system for videos based on tags. Let's kick that off. Duration, that one's probably old. Profile tags is still working. I don't know what it's trying to do. It looks like it's trying to kill something. Okay, it's done. So let's go back and check the editing profile functionality. Edit the profile. The tags are gone, by the way, so that's good. Edit the profile. We have tags down here. Tags help other users discover your content and connect with creators who share similar interests. No tags added yet. Add a new tag, the name, and the description. I'll just say Next.js. Add that tag. We'll say JavaScript. We'll say web dev, web development. How about that? Okay, and we have the ability to remove the tags too. Okay, second thing, I don't like how there's a back to profile button right here. So I'm actually going to go and say, can you move the back to profile to instead be a Shadcey and breadcrumbs at the top of the page above the header? All right, looks like everything's done now. Let's go back to creating a video. I want to make sure I can edit it now. Okay, we do have an edit button. And I want to make sure it only shows up for me. You know, one thing I'm seeing is that we don't show the avatar or the user who uploaded this video. So we could probably add that real quick. On the video card, can you show the username and avatar of who uploaded the video? Little tip, don't ask questions, just tell it to. Like, be assertive. I should have said, like, go add the username and avatar on the video card. You ask a question, sometimes it actually just responds to, like, yeah, I can do that. So we'll let that cook, and then we're going to go back to the actual video. We're going to click edit, make sure we can change some of the stuff. Yeah, I don't like how this has a back to video. It's kind of weird. So we're going to find the back to video, and we're going to kind of get rid of that. Okay, this whole link can go away. There we go. This is unnecessary nesting of the flexes. We can get rid of that. I'm going to review all this code in a bit. I'm sure we have tons of file changes. Let's go and make sure we can actually add some tags here. So let's type in like React, JavaScript. What else can we do? And stack start. Okay, save those changes. And now those show up on the video. And it'd be cool if I could click these and actually go and view other videos that are related to that. Okay. Now I will say these badges are kind of small, so I'd probably want to like modify those a little bit. Let's find where the badges. I'm pretty sure those are badges. Yeah, let's just do text medium. A little bit better. And then we can make these things clickable, right? So we just go ahead and open up like a different one. Connect the IDE because I have it selected. Clear this. And then I'm going to say, can you please make the badge clickable? And when you click it, I want you to navigate to the browse page with that tag in a query string. And then refactor the tags page to allow, refactor the browse page to also have a filter by tags so that I can find certain videos by tags, but auto-populate that input based on the query string that was passed in when a user clicks on a tag. That one might confuse it, but I'm not going to go through and like try to fix it. Let's just kick it off because I think LLMs are pretty smart to like figure out what you're meaning towards. What is this one still doing? Videos with links, videos with likes. Not really sure what that's doing, but we'll go back and figure it out. This is pretty good. Now what I want to do is I want to add recommended videos on the right. So like, we're gonna move this down to the bottom so we have more real estate to kind of discuss this. So right now the video is huge, right? It takes up the whole page. We could actually move it, make it smaller and put it on the left, kind of like YouTube, and then do suggested videos over on the right. And the way we can figure out what are some videos that are related is just based off the tags. I think that's probably a good approach. So we're going to go find a open one, and then we're going to just go to the ID page, and I'm going to drag this in. Can you please refactor this page? I want the video player to be on the left with 2 columns, and on the right, I want 1 column which shows other related videos. And the way you can figure out if a video is related is simply just look at the tags that are on the video and search the system for other videos that have similar tags, order them by the upload date or the create date, descending, and only show about 4 or 5 of them inside a scroll panel. Okay, let's just kick that one off. I don't like how I can't even click on like the whole card. I think the whole card should be clickable here, not just their avatar. So I may fix that real quick. I might just clear this out and say subscriptions, and we will go to the routes called user subscriptions, I think. Avatar image, this might be it. Can you please update the subscriptions users card to make the entire card clickable, which will navigate us to their profile instead of just the avatar being clickable? Okay, I'm pretty sure this is the right page. In fact, I'm going to stop this to make sure it knows we're on that page. I'm going to click and drag this. I think there's a way to like go back to that prompt, but honestly, I don't really know. I'm just going to click this in, and I will call this one clickable cards for subs. There. Okay, this one says no related videos, but what I could also do here is probably add some tags to it. Like I could do React. I could do TypeScript. Save those changes. And now we have some related videos that pop up that we can actually go and look at. And that's going to navigate us to that video. Kind of confusing because like the video has the same exact like landing page. All right, this is getting better. I mean, let's make sure all these things are done running. Profile tags are still running. What did I prompt the profile one? I prompted it about the card's clickable. Yeah, so I think if I went here, I was not able to click on the whole card, but now I can. So I can click on the card and go to their profile. I might actually redesign the profile. I want this whole profile thing to be on the left over here. So let's go here. And I'm going to say, can you please refactor the profile? I want the profile avatar and name in the bio to be on a left panel of 1 column, and then in the right for 3 columns, I want to show the tabs with whatever other profile information we want to display there. So that should start refactoring this. Basically, I want to move this over here, and then this could be onto the right. I could also even expand the width of this page. I think I'm going to use like a max 5 XL, which is kind of narrow in my opinion. But I mean, we can just kind of go with it. I also don't like the tabs. I don't think the tabs are very styled well. Like they don't look good. So I'm actually going to go here, take a screenshot. We're going to go ahead and just dump this in. On the subscriptions page, can you try to redesign? You are a user experience expert and a graphic design expert. I need you to redesign the tabs and the page header to make it look nicer, and also keep it to match the theme. Make sure it works on both light mode and dark mode. Keep the accessibility and the contrast high on whatever changes that you make. And also reevaluate the cards that you have on the page and see if there's a way you can maybe make those a little bit nicer. All right, let's just go ahead and kick that one off. So the video tags are still running with us on the profile header. Yeah, let's check out the profile page. I'll click on Bob, and now we have a nice little profile here. We got the videos that they have published, and we have the comments that they have. 1 comment across all videos. Watch video. I don't like how this is read, but we'll kind of just leave it for now. Pretty good. Some more stuff that we could probably do. I mean, at some point we got to review this code. We got a decent amount of code changes. Look at all these changes we got. Make sure these work. You can even clear them. That's pretty cool. Yeah, what else do we think we want here? All the creators, tags, no tags found, no bio. Come on, Bob. Come on, Bob, add a bio. Okay, it looks like the browse page is broken. Is there something still working on that? Yeah, I might just have to fix this browse page. I'm going to say the browse route is throwing this error. The browse route is throwing this error. Oh, I forget that it puts on your clipboard. Let's just go ahead and paste this in. And we'll say fix it. Okay. Okay, I don't like how my cursor doesn't change to a hover when I'm like over these tabs. So we can actually go and do a little bit of traditional coding. We're going to find the tab list, tab trigger, cursor pointer, and now that should have some pointer logic. I might also say like on hover, change BG color to indicate trigger is hovered. Not sure why that isn't built in the shad scene by default. It's kind of strange. In fact, I'm going to cancel that, and we are using CN here, so I could actually just do that. Probably be easier. Okay, so now we can actually hover over these. I still don't like how these are designed. I think at some point, like, you have to go and find some reference designs online that you like, take pictures of them, and then apply it to your components, right? And everything that you're adding in, you need to make sure that it's using your existing components. So use your cards, use your tabs, use whatever you can, because later on, coming back and restyling it and skinning it becomes so much easier if you just followed some type of design system from the get-go. We really haven't gone through light mode, so we should probably make sure like some of this stuff looks okay in light mode. Not too bad. I think some of the cards could use some better contrast fix. Maybe even the background of the page could be a little bit darker, but we'll stick with dark mode for now. Okay, browse page is now working. That's good. Go ahead and kick this off to the left. Now, I don't like how like there's no autocomplete on the tags filtering, because I know some of these videos do have tags on them. Like this has JavaScript tan stack start. So you can type in the tag, but you have to actually know what you're typing for, which kind of sucks. Yeah, like you literally have to type in the tag. So I may actually prompt this, the filter by tag input. I'm going to clear this. On the browse videos page in the filter by tag input, can this actually be like a drop down, like a auto select drop down? So as they're typing in the tag name, you have a suggestion of things you can click. Right now, it's hard to know what tags are even in the system. I'm guessing that's called like a type ahead. I probably should have said type ahead. I think it's also called like a combo box in ShadCN. Now, one thing that'd be good to do is while this is trying to fix up the tag system, we could actually go and I'm going to implement a notification system. In the header, can you please add a notification icon? And when you click it, I want you to take the user to a notifications route, which displays all of their alerts that they will get when people comment on their videos. So make sure that when someone comments on one of their videos, create a notification in the notifications table, and then we are going to be using those records to display on their notifications page. Add functionality so that we can filter based on reading a notification and unread notifications. Basically, if you click on a button as marked as read in the notification, I want you to mark it as read until it gets moved away to a different panel so they don't see it anymore. Inside the notification, a user should be able to click what video a user left a comment on. They should be able to see the comment, and they should also be able to see the user and the avatar of who left the comment. And that one's probably going to be a 5-minute prompt, so let's just let that thing cook for a little bit. All right, going back over here, which other ones? Okay, we are prompting this one. I totally forgot what we're doing here. So update browse videos page to use new autocomplete tag filter. Oh yeah. Now, while stuff is going on in the background, I might actually go to like the profile page, and then there's like a max. Yeah, I'm going to give this a container. I just don't like how small this is. Do I want to give it a container? Is this the right page? Profile header, profile tabs. Max, I'll do a 7 XL. Yeah, I don't know if I'm on the right page here. What's going on? I guess this looks good as long as my thing isn't over there. So it was on a what? A 6? 6 isn't too bad, I guess. But I think we should probably have just 7, or even a container would probably be better. Yeah. So consistency is important when it comes to building these things, because I think the way we search for tags on this is different than how we're doing it on the browse page. So I mean, this is pretty good. I like the combo box or the type ahead. Don't like how there's like duplicate tags, and it's kind of laggy, honestly. So we'll have to like figure out how to speed that up. But at least we have a way to like quickly search for videos based on tags. Who am I logged in as? Oh, okay. This avatar needs to actually be the correct image of us, because I don't know who I'm logged in as right now. It looks like I'm a web dev Cody. So we can actually go back to one of these. In the header where it shows the avatar image, can you actually use the correct profile picture on the user table? All right, the app is broken right now. Well, let's let it kind of finish, Claude finish what it's doing, because probably still trying to do stuff. I don't want to like interrupt it while it's trying to cook. Okay, it looks like it's good. I'm just going to stop it. Refresh this, restart this real quick. Sometimes you just got to close the tab and open a new one. This one will probably have to fix. I I don't know where it's breaking. Looks like it's breaking here. So get notifications. Yeah, it's just, I don't know what it did here. It's like confused about how it does this. So it actually needs to be this. We need to get the query. I don't know why it keeps doing that. Okay, this should be good. There we go. Now we got a notification button. You must be logged in to view notifications. I am logged in. So now we could probably go to the notifications page. Something wrong there. Notifications, routes. Let's go there, and we're going to fix this. You must be logged in to view notifications. That is not how we're doing it. Is cert authenticated function like this. And we'll just import that. Is this how you do it? Assert authentication function? I know we're doing that other places, aren't we? Oh, this takes in the redirect path. Okay. Let's go to the home page. So what does this thing need? It needs headers. I think in TanStack Start you can get it like this. Okay, you know what? I don't know. I don't remember how to actually get the headers in TanStack Start. I thought it was that. Get headers. Let me try something. Oh, it's called Get Web Request. Maybe that's what I need to do. Optional authentication, authenticated middleware. Curious why we're doing that. I could just do Get Web Request, I believe. And then we should be able to get the headers here. And then this, we could actually just call that. I think that's a better approach. I don't know what was going on before there. All right, but here it's still doing like the weird like use query stuff. This is not how you do it. I don't know where it got so confused about this use query stuff. Proper refactor to be use query instead of hacking onto the server function. Totally messed up the code there, but I think this should be working now. Yeah, it's doing it for this too. Like, what's going on? Fix. Make this do use mutation the correct way. Okay, let's go ahead and put this up there. Okay. All right, had to do a little bit of coding there, but it's fine. I still remember how to do it. I think our app is dead, so let's just restart it. Okay, don't know what happened there. I just had to stop it for longer, and now it's hopefully going to load. You know, I really think there's an issue with this guard function. I might actually just delete this before load and see if we can get this to go. Yeah, that's working now. So I need to go back and fix that. But yeah, now we can see unread and read messages. And so what I want to do is I'm going to log out as someone else. And we're going to go browse. And we could follow Bob, I guess. Just click on his profile. Wait, where is his profile? It doesn't even show the profile there. That's kind of something we got to do, but okay, who am I subscribed to? Am I subscribed to Bob? I am. I'm logged in as who? Let's just say like Cody testing account. So we can actually like keep this in our heads. Who's who? And then you're subscribed to Bob. So let's go to Bob. Let's view one of his videos. I'll say, what is up? post a comment, and now if I log out and log back in as the other person, sign in, we get a notification up here. Okay, get a little notification. We can see the unread and the read, what is up. We can go straight to the video, what was commented on, who left the video comment. Cody testing account commented on your video. I think having the ability to actually click on their account and going to see their profile might be nice. I don't know if the trash deletes it or marks it as read. Let's try clicking it. It just deletes it. So probably not the best. And then also there's like a notification that isn't even resolved at this point. So we may just need to like prompt it to not have a delete and instead just have like a mark as read button. But if you click on mark as read and refresh, it does read that notification and it goes away. So this one will need a little bit of work to make it better, but yeah, I mean, we have a pretty solid app. It's still like a pretty much prototype now. It can use a lot of work in terms of styling, but we were able to add quite a lot of functionality in a little bit of time. But what we're going to do right now is we're going to review all this code because this is quite a lot of changes. I am just going to add all of the migration scripts because those are created by Drizzle, and so I'm not going to review code that was generated by Drizzle, all right? We have the header. We basically added some new stuff like a creators page, a bell icon for the notifications. Nothing too important there to kind of look over. We have a tag autocomplete component now. So I don't know if this was brought in by ShadCN or this was a custom thing that I created. This looks very custom, so I might even say like, hey, we should probably see if there's something already in ShadCN instead of creating our own. But we're going to add it for now. The video card. This is where we are basically getting all the information about the video and displaying it and the avatar and the user and stuff. Some things I would keep in mind is that like if this is doing a bunch of queries, if you have a page that has like 20 video cards, all 20 of those are going to kick off 20 queries or even more based on how many use queries you have. And that could be problematic in terms of performance. So we'll keep that in mind, but a lot of this is just mutations. So the ability to like a video, unlike a video, video like status. Okay, this should be good for now. Let's do badge. This is just a ShadCN thing, so we can just add it. Breadcrumbs, that's also ShadCN. And tabs, I think we just restyled it a little bit. Notifications. So this is the data access for creating and reading and getting the notifications. So typically there's no security in my data access layer. It's just a dumb like insert data or fetch data. So I'm gonna go ahead and just add that. Subscriptions, also data access. You could go through here for performance checks and make sure there's stuff that's like seems performant. I'd probably even ask agents to kind of review this code and try to make it more performant. But often, like, you don't want to waste time until you actually generate the SQL queries and run it through an explain statement to see, like, is this performant or not? And usually, until you get a bunch of data and a ton of users, you won't even know if your SQL statements are performant. So tags, just the ability to create and add and edit tags here. Let's just go and add that. Users and video likes. Okay, so the user, again, I am just going to make sure that anywhere we're like doing a select, we're not bringing back the user email. This looks pretty good. Video likes, ability to like and unlike videos, which basically inserts and deletes records. Videos, what did we change here? Popular videos with likes. Again, this is joining with the users, so like let's double check that it's not getting back information that we shouldn't be getting. Name, image, okay. Our schema, we have a bunch of different things we added for videos, video tags, notifications, the relationships of all those, and some types. Pretty good. Comments. Just finds a video by an ID and then it creates a notification. So this is like the whole notification thing that we added in, which allows us to set a message, the parent video ID, the comment ID, the user ID, triggered by user. Yeah, this looks pretty good. Guards. This one will have to come back. I might put a to-do. I'm going to say this guard seems broken. We need to fix. Notifications, pretty straightforward. I think getting notifications, get notifications, and we want to make sure that the context user ID is what's passed to the data access layer, because we don't want people just passing in like a user ID in the properties. Okay, so like that's what I'm looking for. Looks good. There's nothing really here about tags. I mean, like removing a tag. I guess if you own the tag, we'll have to think about that. You don't want a user to delete a tag that's like owned by somebody else. So I think I might need to come double check users can't delete other people's tags. I might just remove this. Well, this is fine. This is a user tag, and it's linking a tag to a user. So I think this is fine, actually. Is there any other delete here? No, this looks good. Okay, videos. Liking a video, unlike, get video like status, update video function. Okay, we're making sure that you're authenticated and you do own the video. Get video tags function, get related. Yeah, this looks good. Okay, video queries. This is how you can get all the videos. Now, one thing I will point out is that like in some of the components, queries are hard-coded. Others are like extracted to this queries file. I need to come through and refactor that. I want to kind of co-locate all the queries inside this queries directory instead of like putting them all over my code base. But we'll add that. Browse. This is the ability to browse various videos based on tags and other things. Okay, let's go back to creators. All right, creators, again, this is just like looking through the creators. For the routes, I don't care too much about them, right? Because in terms of data access and security and performance, that's all in the back end. Now, you can have unperformant React code and TAN-stack server routes, but ultimately they're very isolated. So usually like if it's one route that's bad, it's not going to affect every other route in your application. If you have a bad SQL query, that could affect a lot of things. And so there's probably some things I should look into with the queries and make sure that we're not overfetching data. But honestly, I don't care too much about like reviewing the routes. We pulled out that format duration. That's good. A little refactoring there. We got the ID. This is the profile, the user profile. That's where we kind of like refactored it to be a left column and the right column. Everything else is unchanged. The edit, that's adding breadcrumbs to the top. And honestly, that's it. Like pretty straightforward. Edit profile form. What do we do here? We basically just added the ability to add and remove tags. So we have all that logic there. And then down here we have the sections of where it displays those tags. This looks pretty good. Profile header. This is the thing on the left that shows what tags, your profile, biography, your name. Okay, nothing too complicated there. Profile tabs. What is this showing? This is just showing all the videos on your profile. And the user comments, okay? Nothing really different there. Comments, this is subscriptions. So this is all of the comments from your subscribers, so you can see them on your dashboard. Probably just does like a single query to get that data. So one thing I'm pointing out is like some pages are doing stuff like this and using the query options, and then other pages like aren't doing that. So I'll probably come through and fix that. Okay, we have a route file that basically just redirects the user to /videos if they were to hit /subscriptions. This one, what is this doing? Subscriptions. Yeah, this is for showing the tabs and the subscriptions and stuff. Users, okay. This is for showing, where's the route, subscription users. This is to show all the users you're subscribed to. And we'll add that one, videos. This is to show all the videos from your subscribers, or from the people you subscribe to. All right, here's the video player. So the ability to like it, to unlike it, the related videos panel on the right. To be able to click on their profile name and go to the profile. Yeah, this looks pretty good. Let's add this one, edit video form. What is this doing? I don't see any changes. Maybe it's a brand new thing. Interesting. This is the editing a video ID, which probably uses that edit video form. Yeah, it does. Okay, so this is when you go to the video and click on edit. Nothing really look into there. And then we have some formatting functions, format duration and format relative time. We pulled those out into utils because we were using those in a couple places, and we asked Claude to basically refactor that. So yeah, we did a bunch of changes there, as you guys saw. And let's just go ahead and commit those. So one thing that I like experimenting with is sometimes I'll be looking at a page that we just created, and I'm like, I don't know if this page looks too good. Like, it's kind of bland. This Discover Creators page looks a little bland. It probably gets the job done. Like, I can search for like web development and stuff. But this whole filter is taking up like the whole page. And I think actually being able to look through creators and like see their profiles might be a little bit more important. So like when a page loads, think, what is the most important thing that a user should see? And is it filtering or is it actually just like browsing? So I'm going to try to move these filters to the left, but I'm also going to ask Claude to basically act as an experienced user, experienced person, and a graphic designer to redesign this whole page. So I'm going to go and just open up the creators page. So routes, creators, and I'm going to say, you are a professional user experience engineer and graphic design. Can you analyze the creators page and try to make it look better? Remember to still use the existing components we have in our system, but you're welcome to update those components if it can make the app look cleaner. Try to put the filters panel on the left side of the page and then the actual content on the right, and then still have a header at the very top row that someone can use. I think it would also be cool to add on the right side the ability to sort the creators based on certain criteria, such as the number of subscribers they have. I was going to add another sentence, but I can't really think about what to add in here. But it's always cool to just kick that off and see what happens. Using certain keywords like you are a professional user experience engineer and graphic designer. Like, I don't know why. When you add certain keywords like professional, it actually like triggers a whole nother branch of like the LLM to unlock certain types of designs and make it think a little bit differently. So it is important to test around with your prompting. Like we still have to do prompt engineering. If you don't have a bunch of documents that explain exactly what a good UI looks like, then you have to go do a little bit of research, right? But if you are pretty good at user experience, I mean, you can just prompt these LLMs to kind of refactor everything. Now, I think on the browse videos page, even adding the ability to search by a title would be useful because right now we have tags. And the tags don't even show up in the video. So I think there's a couple things we could do on the browse page to make this a little bit better. I'm going to make a new tab here. And I'm going to say, on the browse route, can you please show the tags that are related inside the video cards? Also add a search box where a user can search for videos based on title. You are a professional user experience and graphics designer. Make sure this page looks really nice. And the priority of this page should be a user browsing and trying to look for videos that they think are interesting. So figure out the best location to put these filters and sorting abilities. Also, if you can have the ability for a user to sort the outputs based on the number of views on a video, ascending and descending, put that on the top right next to the title somewhere above the actual like list of video cards. And then we'll kick that one off as well. So again, we have two Claude Code instances running. One's going to be on the browse page. I like to just go ahead and like label these so that I know. And then this will be on the creators page. And so hopefully, if we're lucky, we'll make it better. Sometimes it actually makes your page worse. But again, this is an iterative approach. You have to use the LLMs to help you do ideation, prototype, experiments. Does this page look better? Does this approach look better? Do these colors look better? Try different things. Unless you're already like a super good experienced designer, like you're not going to know these things. Okay, and here is the design that it kind of gave us, right? So you have to ask yourself, does this look a little bit better? I mean, we have the ability to search for people. I can do tags here, which is pretty nice. I can close them out. I can type by people. Little bug there. After I type, it like unfocuses this thing. So I do have to prompt AI to kind of fix that. When I type into the search input for searching by name, it seems to unfocus after I type every single character. Can you fix that bug? This is probably just like a memo issue or like, you know, states being updated at a higher level in the page and it's causing stuff to re-render. All right, I'm gonna let that keep going. I'm gonna kick off another Claude Code terminal here. And we're gonna go back to the video viewer, so I'll say player. And one thing I want to do while these other things are running is I want to try to add in the ability to show the transcripts. So like next to the edit button, maybe show a button that opens up a dialog that shows all the video transcripts. I think that might be pretty interesting. I do believe Cloudinary has a built-in way to do that. Use context 7 to look up the Cloudinary documentations regarding videos. And I want it so that when someone uploads a video, it automatically generates all the transcripts for the video. And then on the video player page, please have a button called Show Transcripts. And when they click it, show a dialog box that has all the transcripts of the video already nicely formatted and printed out for the users to read through if they need to. I'm going to make sure that use context 7 is one word. And then I'm also going to tag the ID of the video. So let's go to here. Take that one off. All right, let's go back to the creators because I think this one should be fixed now. I can type in Cody. Okay, looks pretty good. We can search by tags, close those. Yeah, this is looking pretty good. The last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to try to make this whole top banner be full width. So let's try one more prompt. This is great, but can you make the top banner where it shows the header of the page be full width in terms of the styling? So like a full width background color, but then have it be a container for the actual header and the buttons for sorting. Also, can you try to add some like more icons to the header or colors to make this page just look better? It looks very bland. See the attached image. Okay? And I think I forgot to attach the image of this, but like if I go ahead and just like copy this in, it'll give it some more context of like how can I make this better. And I would say like when you get to this size of a project, so you have like 3 or 4 pages and you have some sub pages and profile pages, this is where you need to take a lot more time and go through all your code and make sure it seems like it's refactored and good and decoupled and modular and isn't a mess with like magic numbers. And then also go through all your designs and make sure that the app feels like it's well designed and it looks good. Because as you keep adding more and more pages, like you're just going to build upon the code that's in your code base. And the LLMs like to look at your existing code and try to like build using what you've already done. And so if you don't have a really good foundation of your code and your design and how stuff works, every page is just going to be like a Frankenstein monster. And so you do need to have some type of cohesion between your application pages and routes. So it's good to just slow down. We have a lot of features added to this app right now. And now we're just going through the phases of like, let's do a whole day of just like playing around with styles, try to find something that might look better, that might have a better user experience. And in the long run, I think it will pay off if you kind of do that approach. All right, let's check out the browse page. So the browse page looks like this. We have a browse videos. We got the search bar and we have the title over there. I can search. All right, also, if you click on the search panel, okay, this is like being hidden behind the cards. That's a big issue. So we'll probably have to take a screenshot of that. And I'll just go ahead and like get that ready in the prompt because it's still kind of cooking on the browse page. It looks like the tag dropdown is underneath the video cards. Can you fix the Z indexing on these so that the dropdown's always on top? Okay, using a little keyword, use your web dev knowledge, Z index. You know what the issue is. So just help guide the LLM and that can kind of help it out. I think you can also just kick this off while it's still going and it's going to queue it up. So this looks good other than the fact that when you like focus on these cards, it's almost like the entire card itself isn't fully expanded, like the button component. So I'll probably have to also prompt that to get that fixed. So I'm going to go ahead and just, again, take a screenshot. And we'll just paste it in here. It seems like the button isn't the same size of the card itself. So in terms of accessibility, when I tab to the card, it's only focusing the outline on a sub width or sub height of the card. Can you fix that issue as well? Go back to creators. Let's check out creators over here. And we're going to click on this. And this is what it looks like. Okay, this is the creators dashboard. I think it went a little bit overboard in the gradients. It looks very childish. It's not bad. I like how they put colors on the sorts. They put the colors over here in the filters. I think the gradient header just needs to kind of be reduced. And I'm not sure what the purpose of this green bar at the top. Like, what does that actually give us? But I do think I like how it like made this a little less of a border so that it's not as like in your face versus here's the actual important part, like viewing the user's cards. So I may prompt this again. Again, this is just the ideation phase. Like you're going to get some bad results. Don't be like, oh, AI sucks. No, you have to just keep on prompting it and try to figure out like what would look better. But again, like let's start with an image and we're going to copy this in. This looks a little bit better, but the top header full banner is very tacky with the gradient. Can you actually just make it kind of match my theme with the more like reddish, minimal colors? Additionally, it seems like the content is indented more so than the header. I want them to be the same width. So the filters should align with the left side of the headers. Also inside the creator card, I'm not understanding what the purpose of that color bar at the top is. Can you just remove that? It seems very tacky as well. And notice that I'm not clearing my context window because I do want it to build upon like what it's been doing. If you were to start fresh every time, that's also a technique you can use as well. So like clear the console and just start fresh. Maybe it can give you better results doing that way. But yeah, I think this one, it could use some improvement. It's not the best. Let's go back to browse. And if you actually compare these, like this just, it pops more. It's more pleasing to the eye. And this one also helps you focus on like the cards. Now the browse page, it doesn't look that great. It looks a little bit bland. And there might be a way we can kind of prompt this to make it look a little bit nicer too, right? Some other things I'd probably do is like this thing should be co-located next to the actual list of cards. So I'd probably move this here. I might even tell it to apply this top banner and put it on the browse videos as well. Yeah, I think this page looks a little bit better, but there are some things that I want to like fix myself with it. All right, it's still updating the creators page, so we'll come back to that later. And the browse page is done, but I do want to kind of like get one page looking good and have some consistency across the application. I think the top banner looks a little bit nicer. Just some things I want to tweak about this. Let's go to the actual, like, if I go to the browse page and click on a video, is there a transcripts button? Show transcripts. Transcripts not available. Transcripts will automatically generate when the video is uploaded. Please check back later. Okay, let's try actually uploading a new video. My new video. And then we're going to click on one of these videos here. I think this one should be good. Sequence 3. Now, while the other things are running, I want to check out the transcripts. So they added an auto transcription to the signature request. Let's go to Cloudinary and let's see if in their documentation they have a flag. Let's go over here. So here's an example of them doing the transcriptions, which is built directly in the Cloudinary, which is nice. But I do have to figure out how this works. So let's go to the docs. Requesting transcription. To request transcription, set the auto transcription boolean to true as part of your upload request. Okay. And then with the same public ID as your video or audio file with the transcript file. So, I mean, looking at this code, it seems like it's doing it properly. Like we have a function which is trying to fetch the transcriptions from here. So I read through the docs. I'm not really sure because it seems like we're doing it right. But again, the way we're doing it is with chunked uploading, which they don't seem like they have the transcriptions documented with the chunked uploading. But I'm not seeing the transcripts anywhere here. It should be the name of your video with a dot extension of like transcription or transcript. I'm not seeing that. So again, we could try to prompt AI one more time. They use context 7 to verify this is how you do transcripts with a chunked upload approach, because after uploading the video, I am not seeing a .transcript anywhere in my asset browser, nor do I see it when I hit the URL. Again, we can kick this off as a background task. I'm going to go back and just look at the other things that we were trying to add in. All right, so we have the creators page, and this is what it looks like still. So we want to actually prompt this one a little bit. I want to bring the header in and also bring the filters out. Can you bring in the content of the header a little bit? So pad it on the left and the right, or wrap in some type of max width. And then also make sure that the content of the page aligns exactly with how the header kind of looks. Right now, the issue is that the header is full width, hitting the edges of the browser, and the filters panel is indented way too much and it's not aligned with the header's content. Sorting dropdown to be on the top right, right above the cards list, it being the header seems like it's too far away from the actual thing that it's modifying. So a good user experience, they should be very close together if possible. Okay, so it looks like it added some additional like things to what we're sending over to the form, and it's console logging them out, I guess for like debugging. Okay, that last prompt, it doesn't seem like it really did anything other than console log this stuff out. So maybe we can kind of give it some additional information when we try to kick this off. Let me change this to be at the bottom. I can go to the console log here. We're going to go to upload, like testing. We're going to click on this video file. We're going to try it one more time. And while it's doing that, we're going to go back to here for the player. Paste that in. This is what some of the output looks like. Okay, let's upload the video. Let's go back to Cloudinary, make sure this shows up. Oh, now there's a transcript. Don't know what changed. I think I maybe had to just hard refresh the page, but now the transcript's there, which is pretty cool. So I can actually go back to our app and click show transcript. Not showing up. Maybe it's just taking a while. Maybe that's the issue. Let me go back to the other video. Go back to browse, new video, show transcript. Yeah, maybe the URL is just a little bit wrong. So I'm actually going to click on this and just figure out like what is the URL. Copy URL for the original transcript. I noticed that there's a copy URL with options and you can include the video version number. So actually I'm going to grab this whole thing and just go to it. It's still not loading. 404 error. Raw upload videos and then the ID.transcript. Raw video videos, the ID and the transcript. Yeah, I'm not really sure about that one. Can I even download it? Let's check. Download the transcript. It is 67 kilobytes, so we should be good there. I'm gonna load it up over here. Yeah, so the transcript is there. We just can't see it for some reason. I wonder if there's like some security thing we have to actually set. So after uploading the video, I do see the transcript in Cloudinary now. But when I tried to view it with the public URL, like, I just get a 404 error. Is there some additional security we need to add in to sign the request so we can actually show it in the UI for permission? I'm gonna say use context 7 to look up the docs about this and transcripts. Anyway, let's go back to the creators dashboard and see if it fixed our issue. It's still not like doing what I want, so I'm actually gonna go and just manually indent this. Let's go find where it says like discover creators. And this is max width screen this. I'm gonna say max W7XL and see if we can bring that in. Okay, this is what I'm going for, and I want this panel to also be that. So we're gonna go and do this. Max W7XL. Sometimes just fixing it yourself is gonna be a much better approach. Why is it adding a custom scroll bar? This is kind of weird. I'm gonna delete this custom scroll bar stuff. I don't think we need that. And then page. Definitely don't need page on here. Let's get rid of page. I think that was causing some indentation issues too. There we go. And then I think we could probably just... Yeah, what do I want to do with the filters? Like, I think moving to creators found and putting it up here in the title might be actually better, because like it's kind of weird that it's so far away from the actual list. And I'm going to take one more screenshot. And we're actually going to just clear the console. Like, we're not getting good results, so again, clear the console. And we'll try it again. Can you move the to creators found to next to where the sort dropdown is? Also, notice how the filters panel and the cards don't horizontally line up. Add something so that the filters lines up with the actual cards to make it look nicer and more aligned. The filter panel card should align with the other cards on the page. All right, let's check out the Cloudinary stuff. What did it do? So based on the Cloudinary documentations, raw assets like transcripts may have different access controls than videos. Sign URLs include authentication tokens that bypass access restrictions. Try clicking show transcript button on the video and see if it works. So it did some changes, I think, to the access controls. I'm not sure which one had the transcripts. Must not have been that one. Trying signed URL. So it's like trying with the signed URL and it's able to do it. This one's crashing because it's trying to do like required here. That one's kind of weird. Let's go back over here. Use context 7. And I'm going to paste in this bug. Please fix this bug. It really shouldn't be doing a require in here. Like I should have told it to like refactor to an import. All right, so now we're on the creators. I mean, this looks a little bit better. Did it fully follow what I was looking for? No, but I think it's actually pretty good. I like this view a lot now. Discover creators, find talented creators, explore their content. Yeah, this looks much better than what it did. We actually just need to put a little bit of spacing here. So I think on the user, I actually just want to add a space between these things. Like, can we just put a div here and just add like a little bit of a space so I can actually space these things out? 2 creators found. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty happy with this page. It looks pretty good. We could probably go at the very bottom, add more padding. It's kind of pretty tight padding down there. What am I looking at here? We have this panel, maybe this one, margin bottom 12. There, just to add a little bit of space between there. Okay, so again, what I'm trying to show here is like once you find a design that you're like, this looks pretty nice, I could probably start applying this to other pages, right? So this exact design, we're going to go back to the browse page. And I want to apply this same design to the browse page because I think it looks a little bit nicer. So let's just go ahead and clear out. And then we're going to say, go to the browse page. I'm going to drag this in. Can you please redesign the browse page to look like the creators page? And by redesign, I mean, look at the creators page. It has the top header banner, and it also has the content. It has the sort drop down. Like, try to make the filters and everything kind of align so we have consistency in this application. Now, before I kick this off, I'm going to add everything here in my staged area. So like, I think we're at a good point, but we can make it better. But I don't want to lose the progress that we made, right? So now that it is running, all right, let's click on show transcripts. And again, we have all these auto-generated transcripts coming directly from Cloudinary, which is nice. The formatting of this is a little bit weird, so we're gonna have to prompt this to fix that. Let's go here. and try to figure out, is that our issue? Confidence, end time, and start time. Yeah, I think we're going to have to like have it basically download the transcripts and give us a better example of how it works. So let's actually download the transcripts again, and I'll go to cursor and paste these in. I just want to give it like a little example of how the transcripts kind of look. So, we could probably fix this ourselves, right? We don't have to have AI do all the work for us. So we're actually going to find out. Again, we're going to go to this transcript function. And looking through the transcript data, all we need is the text. We don't need a start time and end time or the confidence, although those things do exist, so in case you do want them. So I'll just send back the text, and then we're going to get rid of everything else that's like depending on that. We don't need start time. We don't need end time. Let's just see if this makes it look a little bit better. Let's go back to the app, and here you go. Second thing I'll probably do is I want to put them all together. So like we should probably just not put them all in like different rows. Instead, we could probably just map over them honestly. Put this whole thing in a leading relaxed text small and just output the text. And actually, it might be easier to just say transcripts map. You don't need the index number actually. We just need to basically say segment.text.join, and we can just join them all with spaces for right now. See how that looks? Yeah, I think this is going to look better. So now we have like a way to view the transcripts, or if you want to copy them, like maybe we can add a feature to copy the transcripts. But I think this is probably good. All right, let's check out the browse page. So this is what it looks like now. We have the header, we got the filters on the left, we have 13 videos found. We can sort by oldest, by newest, most views. I'm surprised this is actually all working. Least views. Cool. And it's not being occluded by the cards themselves, which is good. Let's make sure this one's not being included. Video counts. Name. Recently joined. Okay, let's do a little manual fix on the profile page. So we'll go to profile slash, and then get the ID here. I think this thing, because we have it in a container, I think the page already has a certain container in it. What is page actually doing? It's wrapping in main content, main container, container MX auto. I might do a max width of 7XL. I think that's just going to look better on all the different pages. Just gives us more horizontal real estate. And then any other page that was kind of doing the page would just look a little bit better. All right, the very last thing I'm going to do in this video is I want to actually add a section here that like shows a preview of some really popular videos. So we could go ahead and ask Claude to do that too. We're going to add this because I think we finally got the transcripts working. On the home page, could you add a section under the hero to just display 12 of the most viewed videos within the past 2 weeks? And I'm going to commit this because we have a good stopping point. Like this all worked. I definitely want to commit that and get it in our repo. So Cloudinary also has a video preview feature, which is pretty cool. So you can actually have like a small snippet of the video extracted from the uploaded video, so that when a user is like hovering over the cards, they could probably see a video and have it start playing for them. You see this on like YouTube when you're browsing and stuff. Oh, and by the way, like it looks like the trending this week is already done creating. So like we could probably clean this up a little bit because it needs to be in a grid. So I'll just go ahead and say like here, we could say max W7XL. Save that. Oh, it looks like it already has that. So maybe I'll reduce it to a 6XL. Just so it's contained. Maybe even a 5. Let's do that. So trending this week, and now we have a list of all the most popular videos in the past 2 weeks that we can just have people see on the homepage. Yeah, let's try to do the auto-generated video previews. I think that'd be really cool to add in. So again, let's go to our app. And even on this page itself, like we could start adding that. So I'm going to prefix it with use context 7 to look up the Cloudinary documentation about the auto-generated video previews. And then I want to start playing those previews the moment someone hovers over these video cards on the home page. And make sure you stop the preview when they unhover from that. Before you try to implement anything yourself, check to see if the Cloudinary video player has this built in. so that you don't have to hack a bunch of code together to get this working. All right, let's go ahead and see what it does with that. And while we're at it, let's just review the backend code. So get trending videos, it fetches a 12, sets the date for 14 days ago, and then it finds all of the most recent videos within that and sorts them by the most popular, and then it sends that back. Okay, so I mean, it seems pretty good. Let me add these before it starts making more changes so we can actually see like the diffs. All right, so generate preview URL, GIF. It looks like it's just getting a 3-second GIF of the video itself using the Cloudinary ID. I'd be curious to see how this works out. If it works out first try, that'd be pretty awesome. Okay, it's going through here, and if you hover over it, it is generating the GIF, or the GIF, however you say it. So testing this out, if I click on this, we are getting a little error here. So like, this isn't actually giving us the GIF. I'm curious if this is also like something that has to be like a sign type of thing. So we're gonna try one more time. I'm seeing an error when we try to fetch the GIF in the network tab of Chrome. I'll paste the error below. I'll just go ahead and say the URL we are fetching from, paste that in. And then I'm also going to look at the response. 423 locked, I don't know what that is. Use context 7 to verify we are fetching the what's it called? E-preview? E-preview correctly. Think hard, okay? Let's go ahead and see if it can fix this issue for us. All right, check this out. When I hover over, he starts talking. So it actually is playing out the preview here. Now these are so small, I might actually, let's fix up this page a little bit. Go here, I'm actually gonna change this back to the 7XL. And then for the grid, I'm going to do 3 instead of 4 because I think 4 is a little bit too much. Just change that. There we go. Now, there's only one of the cards are playing it, so we have to figure out what's going on there. And also, like, these cards are so small as well. Let's go to the browse page. I'm going to say grid 4, and we're going to find calls for, we want to get rid of that. But it even has a calls 5. No, let's get rid of that too. All right, so yeah, I mean, like some of these are working and some of them aren't. And the reason is because I think this has to actually process your videos behind the scenes. And so you're going to get a 423 locked error in Cloudinary if your summarization is pending. I'm also on the free version of Cloudinary as well, so I'm guessing I'm probably being throttled. They don't want to give all this compute to free users. But I bet if I check back later, we probably have previews for a majority of these videos. But you can see here, as I hover over, you can see me start talking, which is pretty cool. All right, so I think that's as far as I'm going to take it. Definitely go check out Cloudinary and go check out Claude Code and start learning about agentic coding, because without agentic coding, this would have taken me so much longer to build out probably even half the functionality we have. Like this video is maybe like 3 or 4 hours. We managed to crank out all these features. And if you look through the code, most of the code seems like it's pretty good. Like it seems like it has secured endpoints on it. It seems performant in terms of SQL queries. So I do think this is the future, and definitely start looking more into agentic coding. And like you saw, if you watched this video, check out Cloudinary. They have a great amount of features related to videos and images. As you saw, we can upload videos to their service. We can have image previews. We get chapters that can automatically be generated and added to your video player. We got transcripts that you can read through that are automatically captured from your video. So Cloudinary has tons and tons of functionality. And again, like the ability to upload an image, that's something that we did in this tutorial as well. So definitely check out Cloudinary if you need to have any type of application or feature related to videos, images, or just storing assets somewhere. Have a good day and happy coding.